What's up, guys? Episode 53 of the Side Pitch Podcast. This is our MLS preview. Um, how this is going to work. We've got our guests. We had a guest. We had a great interview with Favian Renkel of Kickbase, which is like the new fantasy MLS app, I would say, or website, or just fantasy MLS. That's the new home of fantasy MLS, and he's going to be in the middle of this pod, but what we're going to do is we're going to start with the preview of the East, Ethan.
Yep,
The
yep.
East, the East. And let's start with Inter Miami, right? So, fully acquiring kind of the additions of the team here, fully acquiring Rodrigo de Paul. They got former Tottenham player Sergio Reguilon on a free, Facundo Mura on a free, the defender, Dane St. Clair coming over from Minnesota on a free, Mikael, loan from Palmeiras, David Ayala, trade from Portland, Tadeo Allende, who's fully acquired from Celta Vigo. They made that permanent. Daniel Pinter, the homegrown player, Luis Barraza, former DC player, coming on a free, and the new DP striker, German Bertame, transfer from Monterrey. And obviously, I guess the biggest kind of the Jordi Alba, Busquets, all those guys retired, and Thomas Aviles got traded to CF Montreal. So it's really the big subtractions there, but champs, Inter Miami. We talked about them a little bit with the Favian Renkel interview, but they look strong again, right?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, kind of just going down the list. Regulon is pretty much a like for like for Alba again. Two different, legacies, but same play style. Short, tiki taka, left footed, left back. Um, Dane St. Clair, big time pickup. Um, you know, feel sad for Minnesota fans, but it is what it is. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess their weak spot is obviously Maxi Falcone, right?
Get him
It's
out of
probably
here,
their weak
man.
spot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got to get out of MLS. We're anti Falcone fans, but I think Bertrame, I think Suarez is going to take a back seat this year. I think Silvetti is like a Man City player.
Really?
I think he's like next level. I mean, what is he? 17, 18. He scored all those goals last year. I mean, I think he's like I don't even know his comparison, but I think he's a really good player, honestly. I think him having a full season in MLS is going to be exciting. I don't really know how they're gonna. I guess they can play DePaul in the middle now and not out wide. But I guess the real question is like the refereeing, like if that's gonna be different this year than last year. I mean it's some of their games are just shit shows.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all know who's at the heart of everything that goes wrong with Miami. It's Falcone. Fighting, complaining, diving. Like
Yeah, it's
he's a dark arts guy.
yeah, he's total dark arts. But what do you think? Do you think they're up there? I think Messi may take a back seat with the
Yeah,
World Cup,
yeah.
uh, but do you think they're still top five in the East?
Again, I think it's in the new stadium they have to. Like it.
Yeah,
MLS is
I
going to
think
make
they're
it
gonna
happen.
I think they're gonna prioritize CONCACAF this year and maybe Leagues Cup. I mean, they're trying to win all the trophies they can, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be really funny if they ever go into Open Cup. Like if like the Richmond Kickers play Inter Miami
I
or
hope,
like one of
man.
those amateur teams plays them. That'd be awesome, right?
Imagine if Miami went to Richmond, like brought Messi and everything. I know that's not going to happen just because don't
We
the
talked it
MLS
into
teams always
existence.
host the
Not always.
okay.
I think DC is played in Richmond. It's usually those games are usually regional. So like I don't know if Miami would go all the way to Richmond. They may stay in South Florida because there's a lot of Florida-based USL teams and League One teams, right? So
Yeah.
um, they may can play down there, but it would be really interesting if like an amateur team made a run and played Miami. be kind of next level. But let's move on to Philly. Um,
Yeah.
the additions, Ezekiel Alado from Sweden, the striker, DP striker, is kind of the record-breaking fee that was really not that much money, but Philly, real cheap. Finn Sundstrom, center back from NCFC. He's like kind of a prospect, a highly rated prospect. Jafet Sari Larson, defender coming from SK Braun. Stas Kuziansk, what the can't even say his name, but he's coming from Next Pro. Gainer Martinez, the center back again from Juventud, and just signed Augustine Anello from Boston River. The I think he's a forward or a winger, but I guess big subtractions. David Vasquez going to San Diego made that permanent. Glesnes, Michael Uhr is out of contract. I want to say he's at Norgeshiland or
Hmm.
Midtjylland in Denmark.
Yeah, somewhere
Um,
Danish. Or
yeah, Ty
yeah.
Baribo went to DC United. Kai Wagner, that was always going to happen. Going to Birmingham City. Neil Pierre, who I thought was going to be the center back there, is going to I think a Philly satellite club, Lyngby in Denmark. So Philly, lot of moving, a lot of ins and outs, but the whole story's Cavan, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the it's everybody's agenda. You don't even care about Quinn anymore at this point. I know he's not there, but yeah, man,
He's hurt.
he's hurt. He's
He's hurt.
he's so sad that his brother's already better than him. That he had to injure himself. So,
Yeah, I mean, they still got that good. I mean, obviously the center. I think center back is. I mean, they've signed some center backs, but I don't know. I just don't know how good these guys are. They're coming from Uruguay. They're coming from Denmark. You don't really know how good they are. Um, Macania obviously had a great year last year.
yep.
Honestly, I think the question is, will Andrew Rick start over Andre Blake this year? I mean, he's knocking on the door constantly to start, right? And Andre Blake, I mean, he was hurt a lot last year. If he gets hurt again, it's maybe Rick Daddy's year.
Yeah, but how old's Andre Blake? Is he Onk
He's
yet?
getting up there. I mean, he's a club legend. I'm not saying he's not performing at a crazy high level, right? I mean, I still think he's a top goalkeeper in MLS, but Rick's good, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, that one position is I mean, I think Blake out of seniority gets it, but yeah, as soon as Blake gets injured or goes to Jamaica for something, I think Rick Daddy, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But who's gonna replace Kai Wagner? I mean, that's a huge hole out there on the left.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if Nathan Harriel can be more of a offensive fullback going forward, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I think he's a really good player, but can he take over that role? Not
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about Darmiani and this Ezekiel Alido as strikers up top. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
So they may, I mean, obviously at times last year they had a hard time finding the net, right? But yeah, I think there's just too much roster churn, and that sophomore slump for Carnell, it may be an issue.
Yeah, I give it a D plus, honestly.
D plus. What do you make? You think they still make playoffs?
I think if Cavan plays a lot, they won't make playoffs. If Cavan doesn't play a lot, they make playoffs. And that's the
Okay.
agenda. That's the agenda going into the World Cup.
Yeah, that's the agenda. All right, Cincinnati. They brought in, let's see, Kyle Smith, Tom Bartlow on a free, Kristen Fletcher on a free, Brian Ramirez they got from LU Quito. I believe that's in Ecuador. Um, Adamar Chavez, they signed a homegrown player. They fully acquired Jabari. He's kind of a backup striker. But the kind of some big departures. Brenner, Lucas Engel. Engel didn't his second half of the season wasn't great, but Brenner was decent. You got Kubo, who's been on their team for a while. Luca Orlano, he's going to Monterey. So there's some holes that they did fill per se because of how much depth they have. But um, do you think Cincinnati's as strong as they are as last year?
Yes and no. I mean, missing Brenner sucks. Do they, do they still have Denke, Evander, and can they still score goals? Probably. Orlano, I mean, you and I talked about it. Like, he didn't really have that impactful of a season this past year, and him going to Monterey. I mean, it is what it is. But you know, having one of the strongest center back pairings between Matt Miazga and Miles Robinson. I mean, defense wins championships, and if they can score goals with Denke and Evander, I mean, you know, it's just sad to see Christian Fletcher, in such a non DC environment. Honestly, that's the one I'm sad
Y-
about. But
Yeah, and that's weird. That is odd. I think Miles Robinson being a DP could hurt them
yes, 100%.
going forward. You don't really want to. I mean, you saw it with Nashville with Walker Zimmerman.
Yep.
It is tough to have an American center back as a DP. As I mean, you see it with Vancouver. They're not gonna. I mean, Tristan Blackman's probably a DP on kind of a. I mean, I'm not gonna say bad team, but someone would give him DP money out there, correct?
Yeah.
Um, and Vancouver doesn't want to do that just because it's tough to have an American center back DP.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
so
any center back, to be fair. Um,
yeah, any center back, unless they're like, I don't know, Van Dyke.
Chiellini was a DP when he came over, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that was.
That was
Nah, I
yeah.
don't know. He might have been. I don't really remember, but he might have been. But honestly, Vander Danke, that's a. I feel like that's 20 or 30 goals between them.
Yeah, yeah, at least.
I think and Evander probably has. This might be the first 20 and 20 year. I don't know if there's been a 20 and 20 year in MLS. 20 goals, 20 assists.
How far was Messi off?
I don't know. I could be talking crazy.
I mean
I could be
Mukhtar.
talking
I mean
crazy.
Mukhtar. We thought Mukhtar was gonna do
Mukhtar's a terrorist. He wouldn't do that kind of thing. Um,
it.
uh,
Oh my
but um,
Spreading love.
yeah, he had 43 and 25 last year. That's ridiculous.
Messi
Uh,
or Evander?
Messi.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That let's see stats. MLS 2025. Yeah, this man had 35 goals and 23 assists. So it's not the first 20 and 20 guy.
No, no, no. That's the
But
crazy thing.
Evander, I think he's 20 and 20 this year. I think their midfield, I love Pavel Buka's game. Gidi, he was kind of everywhere in the playoffs.
Yep.
So getting him to kind of settle in and get a preseason under belt and what Pat Noonan wants him to do, I think is really important. And Celentano in the back as goalkeeper is he's tough.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good, and I think he's knocking on the door for the World Cup as like the third guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he's consistent. I think at his moments he's up there with Freeze. Um,
Yeah,
so I mean,
yeah.
like again, the goalkeeper spot so intricate on the men's national team. Like it just
There's not a there's not a lot of difference between any of them.
no, yeah, they're all kind of copy paste to be fair.
Yeah,
But who
yeah.
knows?
But Cincy, they're probably making playoffs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're
I
probably
mean,
top five.
I think it'd be a disappointing year if they didn't. honestly.
I honestly think Pat Noonan could be fired if they don't like win something this year. Like they invested all this money. I think it would be honestly, I think he could be fired this year if they don't win.
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah. So let's move on to Charlotte. Big additions was Luca Della Torre from Celta Vigo. David Schnegg picked him off waivers. Henry Kessler, he picked him up as a free agent from St. Louis City. Signed Tyler Miller as a backup goalkeeper. But I guess the big things, big guys that left. Drake Callender, he traded him to Minnesota for some GAM.
Yep.
Nikola Pekovic, he was going to be their, like, he was a U-22 signing that didn't really pan out. And he's got sent to the Sounders. Sounders are on that, like, that rehab, that, like, player rehab mode that they like to do. But you'd think that they would buy out Leo Labata by now, but that hadn't happened. But st honestly, pretty strong team.
Yeah.
Pretty strong team.
Yeah, that midfield three could it, I mean, and then you got Bronico in there, like just as, a depth. Like not even
Bronico's going to make his way on the field.
Oh yeah. Honestly,
He's going to
like
find a way.
I would like to see Bronico as like a attacking right back to see
Ooh.
like just the vision he has.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. And he's such a like bull in the china shop.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's gonna kill you.
Yeah. I,
Um,
I like that shout out actually because he's gonna make it on the field somehow. Like Dean's like he's it's not even Dean Smith going like I don't even think it's like him going like I gotta play Brant Bronico. I think Brant Bronico makes it happen for himself.
yeah.
Just like how he plays, you're like, oh, I can't keep this guy off the field. He's kind of their like Stevie G. Like he's a Charlotte guy. I mean, he obviously doesn't have that flavor, right? Like he
Yeah.
doesn't have the skill. I'm not saying he has the skill. I'm not saying that.
Okay,
But
good, good, good.
Bronica's got like that. He's a Charlotte kid, right? What do you go to UNC Charlotte as well?
Somewhere like yeah,
Like he's a hometown kid, right? He came, he's one of their first picks in the expansion draft, and he's gonna be there forever until he dies, probably, right?
yeah,
And he's gonna make it on the field. I'd love to see that attacking right back. That'd be crazy,
yeah,
because and that's like kind of I mean, their back line is nothing crazy, but I think it's going to be solid because of how Tim Ream is and how Kalina is and how they kind of their leadership in the back.
yeah. I'm excited to see Schnegg be involved. Um, I mean, like I hate it for my DC fan, but he's gonna fit in well. Just attacking him and Zaha if Zaha keeps the ball and doesn't lose it.
Yeah, yeah, he's going to keep the ball
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for himself.
I'm a big Zaha guy.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, we're all big. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I didn't want
yeah.
the agenda to be changed, man. So
Yeah, and we'll see what they do with Abada because that open DP spot could put them over the hump, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised if like they were like talking to Raheem Sterling before he went to Feyenoord, and it just didn't happen because they couldn't move Abada or they don't want to buy him out. So, like I think Charlotte's going to be dangerous. What they do with that open DP spot once Abada leaves will make them even more dangerous.
yeah,
And will they spend some money? I think they're willing to.
yeah, yeah. I think I don't even. Yeah, Sterling. James Ward-Prowse, I think, would fit in this kind of Dean Smith vibe. Um,
Yeah, I think they need a winger.
yeah, they do need some excitement. I mean, Vargas is. I mean, even like a nine. Like I don't know if Toklo Madi is my kind of
He,
nine.
yeah, he's not my kind of nine either.
Like I don't know.
He's a winger to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, do you bring in uh Chris
Honestly,
Wood?
Benteke would go crazy.
Benteke would have, yeah. I mean, I was
It would have
thinking,
went crazy. I think that would have been the number one guy on Dean Smith's like list to get, and he took that Saudi money or UAE money or Middle East money.
yeah, I would have bought five Benteke jerseys, brought them to Charlotte, burned them right in front of the stadium. To be honest,
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's that's fair, man. No, you got to have that hate. I think we got to build that hate within MLS.
yeah, yeah. We got to start
We got
fighting
to
each other.
burn that. Like we got to do that hate because, I mean, like we kind of said in the interview with Favian. I mean, we're talking about the World Cup and how it's kind of an open invitation
Yeah,
for
yeah,
MLS, open advertisement. I like the Charlotte FC team. I like Dean Smith. Love Ashley Westwood. I just hope that Pep BL, he 2 seasons of injuries, but when he's on the field, he's really productive. I,
yeah. He's gives me Juan Mata vibes. Like when he's on the field, he's great, or like Sandy Cazorla. But he gets riddled by injuries.
yeah, I just hope that he's not old. If that like not old, but like
He's got
up
frail
there
bones.
and
Yeah,
then they
yeah,
sign him on a permanent and it's just it doesn't work out. I just hope that doesn't happen, but Charlotte's a playoff team, right?
yeah. It has to be. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Let's move on to NYCFC. Really nothing crazy coming in. Added a center back or like a defensive midfielder, Kai or a center back, and then um they were gonna add Ciala. Didn't happen with Schalke. Alfonso Martinez is injured. I thought he was great last year.
Yep.
Justin Hack left. Julian Fernandez went to Rosario Central. So Maxi Morales is still there. Keaton Park's coming back from injury. I really like Aiden O'Neal. I really like the midfield. But that number 9 spot is really just anyone's game.
Yeah, I think and it's gonna flow throughout the season. I wouldn't even play just. I mean, maybe you just go 4-4-2, like, and just make it very narrow. Um, at home games and then away games, you just say, we're gonna play for a draw, like, because we're
Yeah.
not gonna be able to use the width. Um,
Yeah, and they do get results with
yeah,
that field. They do get results with that field.
I gotta go to a game before they get their new field. Honestly,
That would be honestly, I think that would be a unique experience because it's in a baseball field. It's in the iconic, not iconic, but the new Yankee Stadium, right?
yes,
It's got I don't even know where you sit. There's only like you sit in the outfield,
yep,
right? Like and there's I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. It's basically a rec pitch that is really nice.
yeah, yeah.
Or a 9v9 pitch almost.
Yeah, yeah. Just put the build outs and then you're good.
Yeah, yeah.
I yeah, I mean, I think we already talked about with Favian. NYC is gonna sneak their way in. Like they're gonna they're I don't know if it's a play in spot, 8 versus 9 or 7 versus 8. I can't remember what it was, but I think they'll get in. Will they go far? I don't know. I don't know.
I think that I do think how they like to sign players so young because they're a city team
Yep.
that it does hurt their roster. Like, because you just can't sign like a ton of kids in MLS and
Yeah.
be like, this is a great spot or a great team. Like, there's never been like they've always had those kind of role players that are older and those kind of roster players, and it's tough to field like a total U23 team like I think they want to,
Yeah.
which honestly they should. Like that's what MLS should be, right? Like we're a selling league right now. We want to make it big. We want to sign big players, but it's just not that competitive to keep those big players. So we got to be a selling league. So I don't know. I think their coaching is really good, and they'll get over the hump. But honestly, I think they're squeaking into the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Shout out my boy Nico Cavallo, Richmond native. Played futsal with them. Hopefully he starts getting some games this year. But
Yeah, shout out to him. He should come on the pod, honestly.
yeah, I'm gonna hit him up. Um,
Yeah, hit him up. Nashville, Party City.
oh
Big
yeah.
additions. Center back Maxwell Willetse from Fredrikstad, and I want to say that's Norway. Thomas Williams, they got him from Orlando City for some depth. Warren Madrigal, have a backup striker from Costa Rica. And this Charles Emile Brunet, this Canadian guy, they got him in the third round in the Super Draft, and I've it's the most hype I've ever seen on Twitter about him. Ton of hype.
Where'd he
I
play?
don't even know if he's good, huh?
Where'd he play? Grand Canyon?
I think like SMU or something.
Um,
But kind of a I
oh
don't
yeah,
know.
you're
I've
right.
heard he's good,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
and then getting rid of Johnny Perez, he went to Chivas. Jacob Schaufelberg went to LAFC. Obviously, Walker Zimmerman leaving, going to Toronto as a free agent. So kind of a like BJ Callahan's second season, right? Or second and a half season,
Yep.
right? Quasum, he probably went on Broadway maybe a little bit too much last year. I don't know. I don't want to say, but I think this year he may step up. You saw the flashes of how good he is, right? Last year, the crazy sellies. I think he's one of the more like wild boys of MLS. You
Yeah,
know,
he definitely be doing stuff
like
like
he'll be the first player to get fined, or maybe not the first, but he may get
he's good.
fined for celebrations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen him in Nashville just like fighting dudes on the street, like doing outlandish stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, but Christian Espinoza, big free agent signing. San Jose just like kind of let him go because they forgot he had an option that could trigger, which is, kind of whack of them. But another like high quality, well, he's an MLS, he's proven MLS player. Um, so I'm excited about Nashville, honestly. They got Reed Baker Whiting reporting today as their kind. I guess they kind of get like a young U.S. player every year. They got Cochran last year. They needed to be kind of. Um, they do need to get younger outside back, which I think will be a good signing. But Andy Nahar coming back, Josh Bauer or Josh Mayer can kind of play everywhere on that back line, which is helpful. So we'll see. We'll see. I like Nashville. Do you like Nashville?
Yeah, yeah, they always surprise me. Um, I don't know why I got a soft spot for them, but they're kind of fun to watch. Um, but yeah, I mean that front four, Quasem, Surridge, Mukhtar, and then Espinoza. It's gonna do some damage.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah, I like it. And Tagseth and yeah, Asbeck just running around like banshees.
Yeah, yeah, they're yeah.
Like it gives them so much freedom that they have somebody that can cover 200 yards. You know
Honestly,
that like I don't think that's very common. There's not a lot of guys that can do what Tagseth does in MLS.
yeah. I saw a stat today about how Liga MX is the laziest league in the world today. They
Really?
in terms of uh,
Player mileage?
yeah, player mileage. La Liga,
Yeah,
I think, was like fifth.
I feel like
Um,
Tagseth runs like 15 miles a
well,
game.
MLS was like very low because of
Really?
how much people run
Oh
in
yeah.
MLS because it's so end to
Yeah.
end, box to box. Like
Yeah.
besides like Messi, like who he's an outlier. I mean, there's other outliers in the league, but it's very
Yeah.
You know it. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully Nashville gets in. Am I certain? Probably not. Um,
You don't think they make playoffs?
Again, I think they squeak in through a play-in.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for them. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me
You don't
wrong.
think the top eight team in the East?
I mean, DC's got to go somewhere. Like Atlanta's got to be somewhere.
Yeah. All right. All right. I think there's still gonna be like
No, yeah.
five, six, seven, six, seven,
Uh,
um, in that mix.
yep.
Surge is still there. I do think Surge is gonna leave after like Wolves already called him. Like I think he's if he does well in the first half of MLS season, think I
I,
see him
I'd
leaving.
rather be in
But
Nashville than Wolves.
yeah, I'd say that too, and I think he said that as well. But uh, obviously they got another U22 spot that's open. We'll
Yep.
see what they do with that. And yeah, that's a take, man. That's a take.
Yep.
But Columbus, this is a team that I actually think is not going to do as well as people think. Um, Big signings, Jamal Tiare from Atlanta. They got this Uzbeki guy, Naraman Akunzada from Quarabag. His highlight tape looked nasty.
Weren't they? Wasn't isn't Karabag in Champions League right now?
Yeah, he's in champion. They're always in Champions League. Yeah, it's tough to play them because they got to go to Uzbekistan. Like,
Yeah, from like London. That's crazy.
yeah. So, but obviously Jason Russell Rowe went to Toulouse. Nagby retired, so that's a big kind of hole there. I mean, obviously, he wasn't playing as much as he was in the past, but a captain, legend of the club leaving, legend of MLS. I mean, honestly, he's one of the best MLS players of all time. But like, I honestly think this new coach, he may not get MLS like we think like he thinks he's gonna be. I think it's gonna be hard for him if he's gonna change a lot in this team. I just don't know. Just don't know. Because there's a lot of moving parts with this team. Like they did play kind of positionless last year for some of their roles.
Yeah, they were pretty fluid. And even like losing big time guys in the locker room like Nagby. I mean, uh, Arfston isn't gonna step up. Like he just looks like a frat bro. Like he I don't know if he's that
With the
guy.
hairline, he's
Yeah,
top
yeah.
hairline in MLS.
Uh, different segment, but
Yeah.
he's still got Diego Rossi, Gazdag, who's in the sticks? Schulte. I think he's gonna have a big year. Obviously for the World Cup. But
Yeah. I, I'm cheering for Abu Ali. He was hurt
yeah, yeah.
some last year. I'm cheering for him. He's got a bag to him. He's silky, but he's kind of got what's his name with Newcastle?
Uh
Woltamata.
oh, yeah, yeah.
He's kind of
I
got
was
a
gonna say Callum
Woltamata
Wilson,
bag.
but thank God you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
that
He's
one.
kind of got a Woltamata bag a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
What do you
So
think about your boy Thiare? You're going
Tiare, that's a great trade for Atlanta, honestly. Got
well
some game.
worth it.
Worth it, man. Worth it. He's actually on a ticket, I think. Like I think he's makes a good bit of money.
Hey, good for him.
So got him off the books. But Columbus, they weren't that great last year, like in the regular season. Like they weren't like a top team in the East last year that you would think a Wilfred Nancy team would be,
Yep.
and they suffered some whatever happened. But I don't know. I think they don't make the playoffs this year. I'll stand on it.
I'll
I'll
stand with
stand
that.
on it.
Another
Yeah,
room, another spot for Atlanta and DC to slide into.
yeah,
They just don't. They're not going to excite me. Even watching
yeah.
Max Arston.
I'm kind of excited for the tactics, but other than that, um,
Yeah, excited for a new coach, new
yeah.
perspective. But yeah,
Chicago, the Berhalter boys. Um, see, they got Anton Saletros from AIK in Sweden. The big center backs, U22 signing, Ebikaze. Uh, his national team coach wants him to be white, but I don't think I don't know, might not work out. And then
Probably.
Puso Dithajane, also coming from South Africa. So got a homie for him for Mbakaze. Robin Lode coming in for free agent signing, I think is a big signing for them. And I guess the big thing is Gutierrez leaving, Justin Reynolds going to Sporting Kansas City, Kellen Acosta leaving. So really, this is kind of a I don't know if it's obviously their defects last year with the defense, right?
Yeah,
Did
of
they?
course, not Jack Elliott, the god that he
Yeah.
is.
But uh obviously you got to pencil in Gutman for at least 8 goals, right?
Yeah,
This year, right? So you got to
yeah,
pencil that in.
yeah, like
Think
crazy goals.
Zinkernackle was a beast last year. Bomba another year in MLS. They got Kuipers, but that's the question. Do they bring in Lewandowski?
I mean, they just got to get the deal done. Like, I mean, they failed with Neymar, KDB. I mean, like Neymar should not be playing in Chicago at the end of the
No.
day. KDB probably white ginger guy from Belgium makes sense. Lewandowski, I could see it. I could see it. But then Kuipers is the young gun. I mean, younger. Lewandowski is gonna score goals. He's gonna get jersey
Yeah.
sold. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of like, especially with their new stadium coming in.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz because they have got that stadium is like a perfect spot right on the
Yeah,
river.
yeah, it's gonna be
Um,
cool.
it's
Um,
gonna be really cool.
Games are
Uh,
gonna suck in the beginning of the season, but
yeah, but I mean that's how it's going to be. You know, you gotta if you're gonna pull up to Chicago,
Chirac.
you gotta come strapped. You gotta come with the parkas. You know,
What do you
so
think?
you gotta be ready for that.
You think
Like
Chris Brady's going to O Block?
see Brady.
Yeah,
No, I actually don't think a lot of. I think people aren't going to O Block as much anymore because people at O Block see that they're getting used for views. And I think they're killing those guys. So I think not a lot of guys are going to O Block, but like C Breezy is definitely he's definitely a Chicago stalwart, I would say,
mm.
and probably he does some stuff in the community for the kids, I'm sure.
Deep dish guy.
But deep dish, I don't think a lot of Chicago people are eating the deep dish because it's like a lasagna. Like you can't eat that thing every week.
Nah.
I eat pizza every Friday. If I ate a deep dish pizza every Friday, I'd be big as a house. Like it
Yeah.
would, I don't even, I've had deep dish once, but it was like Pizzeria Uno, so I don't even count it.
Oh yeah, 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 classic
And I
spot.
think it was in like the airport.
Yo, eating Uno at the airport's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's not as good as Chili's.
Yeah, or Margaritaville. That's an airport classic.
Applebee's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Chicago, I think will be just as average as they were last year.
They might squeak in. Might squeak in.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have a lot of expectations. Like their signings don't give me more goals, but I think they will let in less goals than last year. Like their games were like a track meet.
Yeah, yeah.
Every, so I think that'll be a bit different, but other than that, I don't find Chicago that exciting, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they're in that they'll make the playoffs, I think, but
Yep.
we'll see. Orlando City. Um Big additions, striker Thiago, backup striker from Bahia, Luis Otavio, transfer from Internacional. I want to say he is a kind of a six. Brian Ojeda, trade from Real Salt Lake. I think that's a big signing. Maxime Crepau is taken over from El Pupe in the goal. Um, and then Iago, who was the captain of the Brazilian U20 squad in the last U20 World Cup, is coming over from Flamengo. But losing Cesar Rajo, Pedro Gallese, El Pupe, Kyle Smith, he was a good role player. Digger Dan Thoralson, the Icelandic guy, got traded to Montreal. Schlegel, obviously that Jansen Schlegel partnership that's been so long in MLS is over. And then Luis Muriel, um, striker, leaving to go to Atletico. So they've got the open DP spot that I would assume if they don't make Duncan McGuire, they're like number nine, would go to the number nine. But I mean, honestly, they could use it for a lot of different ways. And I don't know. They're kind of a dangerous team.
Yeah. Shout out Big Dunks. I think Muriel kind of stings a little bit just because, he started off his first season, he was fat, wasn't scoring goals. Like, I mean, like people, like, I'm just saying what the people say, you know.
I mean, he was fat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, sad to see him go again. Like you said, will they trust in Dunks or get a DP number nine? Um, and then really like Ojeda is kind of their only attacking mid, like attacking minded. Again,
Yeah,
they have a lot of eights that can probably do a good job, but I don't know, man.
he's the guy scoring in that midfield or assisting in that
Yeah,
midfield.
yeah. He's got his XG's up there, you know.
Yeah, and they kind of set up kind of like Nashville. I mean, it's not with the top four, but they kind of have a front four. It's a different front four, but they do let that like six and the eight cover a lot of ground, where sort of like Nashville does. Pasalic, second year in MLS. I th I honestly thought Marco Pasalic was one of the better signings. Not like a signing that Orlando City usually makes as a DP. They don't usually go to Croatia for a DP. It's usually South America. So it was kind of weird that he signed there, but I thought he took off right off the bat.
Yeah.
And you see, like, I've seen videos of like Duncan McGuire mic'd up for preseason, and Paslic is literally just messing with everyone on the team constantly. Like, like they're like, sprinting on a stationary bike, and he's just messing with them constantly. So
Yeah.
I think he's good for the morale. Um, I guess with Jansen out, center backs are going to be that question. But yeah, I like Orlando, honestly. I
Yeah.
like Orlando a lot
I think they'll do well.
as an
And plus
Atlanta
like
fan.
they got a good situation at home. Which again isn't I'm not gonna say it's few and from in MLS, but if you can have a good home advantage, like you're gonna be set.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, you see it with Miami, you see it with Cincinnati, you see it with LA, FC, Vancouver. Like those are all successful teams with good home bases.
yeah, could be a Oscar Pereira. They don't do it this year. He could be done. I'll just say it. He could be in a Pat Noonan situation.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but again, this squad isn't as like fruitful as FC Cincinnati in some ways. You
You're
know.
right. You're right. It's not as fruitful, but did they get that deep another DP? Like they
Yeah, I mean,
spend money on a DP, like
if
they spend 10 million bucks on somebody
yeah,
and they don't win the MLS Cup.
yeah,
Like I think you're asking questions. I don't know if you're pulling the trigger, but you're definitely asking questions.
yeah,
Like what
maybe.
if Brazil like gets knocked out of the World Cup early and they like this is crazy, but what if they fire like Ancelotti? And like there's probably going to be big name managers like in the kind of in the circulation this
Yeah,
summer.
uh, I just thought of this. Memphis Depay
Ooh,
to Orlando.
it's a signing, honestly. Um,
I think he's got to get out of the favelas. I mean, that whole situation from what they're paying him is kind of crazy. But yeah, man. I don't know how he gets to Orlando, but they got to make a deal. They got to get him in.
yeah. Let's move on to the Red Bulls.
Sheesh.
So big signings: Justin Che, Cade Cowell, Ethan Horvath coming from Cardiff City, Jorge Ruval Ruvalacaba from Pumas, adding Jaquil Marshall Ruddy from Montreal. But kind of the big subtract, like getting rid of Peter Stroud going to Minnesota, Lewis Morgan going to San Diego, Sean Nealis going to DC, Daniel Edelman going to Montreal, Noah Ellie going to Bristol City, Wiki Carmona. Like there's a lot of guys that left that were pretty impactful last year with a brand new coach in Michael Bradley. So
Yeah. I
I don't know if they set him up for the success, but I do think they're trying to work at trying to get, better players.
yeah, and I think that's to my point. It's like again, this stuff was going to happen whether Michael Bradley came in or not. Like it was going to like whoever the coach
Yeah.
is. I think they'll give Bradley leniency in a squad like this. Again, like I'm sure the New York Red Bulls executives are like, oh man, Choupo-Moting, such a big name player, Cade Cowell, Emil Forsberg. But I mean, they're again, you're like they have such a big hole in two of the most important positions on the field. They're left and right center backs. Like, I mean, I don't know. Ethan
Yeah.
Horvath is great.
Yeah, I saw like on a depth chart thing that MLS put out that they're going to start Justin Che at center back.
I did see that. Yes.
And I just thought that's a bad start.
That's a
Not
big.
that I like can't play Tim Parker probably. Robert Volador from they signed from Kansas City. I thought he was okay at Kansas City, but he's not a starting center back on a MLS playoff team per se.
Yeah. Um,
Obviously, and I don't think Ethan Horvath is worth a shit. I think like he keeps bouncing around like
yeah.
club to club, and his like his most success was in like League Two or League One in England. Like he had that one moment with the in the at the Gold Cup,
Yeah.
and we're thinking he can save penalties. That's like literally like 8% probably of goalkeeping is penalties.
Yeah.
So the other 92% he's not that great at, obviously. Like he keeps getting benched, shipped him out to New York. I don't think he's really the answer at goalkeeper. So I don't see him being competitive, but I don't think they make the playoffs.
No, and I think again we talked about the argument is did the East get worse this year? Like, uh,
It could have.
it could I do think in parts like it isn't as strong. But I don't know, man. This Red Bulls team isn't I'm not jiving with them. Not just because I'm a DC United fan. Just like I mean you look at the potential starting 11 and it just doesn't excite you, you know.
Yeah, unless they like Cade Cowell comes back from Mexico and he's like a beast, but
Yeah, on coke or something like
I
that.
just don't see it happening really.
Yeah.
New England, new coach, um, brought in Brooklyn, really just his guys from the U20 World Cup, really, right?
Yeah.
Brooklyn Reigns coming from Houston. He had a great year last year. Ethan
Baller.
Kohler, defender, coming from Werder Bremen. Griffin Yao, friend of the program from KVC Westerlo. DC guy, big subtractions. Shankala going to Minnesota for really nothing. Uh, Alex Bono went to DC. Homegrown player Jack Peniotto going to Loudon in the championship. But if you look at this roster, I thought Turgman was decent last year when they got him. I think he could be a weapon. Langoni's decent. The midfield is okay, right? But the defense, I think Ceballos is leaving. the defense is iffy, and I don't know if Peyton Miller is going to stay, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if just getting because San Diego did this last year. They got their guys from they got Bombino, they got all these like young American players, and then added some like good players around them. But I don't know if New England has the quality for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm more. I mean, this team's going to be a team that beats you in the midfield, like um, Gil, Yusuf, and then Brooklyn Reigns coming in. I mean, he's huge, man. He is going to be a player like that will be in the senior USMNT soon. Um,
Yeah,
like he's that good.
yeah.
Griffin Yao, I mean, like again, DC guy did great when he busted through the seams at DC, but is he gonna come from Belgium and really be that guy? I don't know. And then Campana.
The Bellman.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe they play two up top or whatever, but
Yeah, I see that. I do think Fofana's decent.
Yep.
The Sabalo situation. If Ethan Kohler steps up and plays like first team minutes for his first time in his career, I mean, he's had first team minutes, but like a starting position, first time in his career, I think that's big. But I don't think they're making playoffs per
no,
se.
no. I think it's
All right. Yeah, let's talk about this dumpster fire of Toronto. I
oh
guess
yeah,
like yeah, like no real um lose they lost on Sean Johnson, they declined his option. But other than that, they added Walker Zimmerman, but they waited for Josh Sargent this whole window. I don't think it's gonna happen. They're kind of in limbo, right?
yeah. Yep.
Uh I don't know, man. Georgi Mihailovic would be kind of good with Josh Sargent, but they don't have him, and they don't really have a plan B.
Yeah, I mean, I just getting you think getting Sargent like I honestly think that if Sargent was coming to a US based club rather than Toronto, it'd be so much easier. Uh,
Yeah, why didn't he go to St. Louis?
yeah,
Where
well, I
he's
mean,
from?
yeah, I wouldn't want to go to St. Louis to be fair. If I was playing championship ball. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like I mean, I know Jonathan David is a high reach, but like and he's kind of killing it
Ooh,
at Juventus, but I mean, like you want to get a Canadian guy. Like that like I don't know. If I was Toronto, and especially without the Canadian national team is kind of on the ups. Yeah, I don't know.
you
Or
want to
just
get a nine that's a Canadian nine, or they at least have a plan B, I think.
yeah.
It's tough. It's really tough that yeah, they were really awful to watch last year. Theo Curbano is not any good to me, really.
Yeah.
Um, their midfield is getting older. Like Osorio's like been a soldier forever, but I don't know if he's the answer. I don't think they're making playoffs right now. If they get a DP9 like Sargent, I don't even think they're still making the playoffs. So we'll see.
No. Yeah.
Montreal, I think they made some kind of like interesting trades this year to kind of bolster things. But getting Aviles from Inter Miami, getting Digger Dan Thoralson from Orlando City, getting Brian Vera from Real Salt Lake, adding Wiki Carmona from Red Bull, getting this Noah Street kid from Basel. Like they've got some kind of fun signings. Obviously, getting rid of Verono as their DP, like Dante Sealy going to Colorado, and then Jonathan Sarah, their starting goalkeeper, going to Dallas. Like this, they've got one designated player on the roster, and he's not any good, right?
Yeah.
Prince Owusu was kind of a beast last year, but other than that, like they did kind of help their defense a little bit in these signings, but this
It seems like they're
MLS
trying
may
to
need it.
rely on Prince Owusu too much now, and they're like, "Hey,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
already got him. Like, we just need to worry about
I
our
think they
defense."
should shut down Montreal.
Relegate
I
them,
don't
right?
think this. I don't think ownership is doing enough
Yeah.
to
But
help them
hey,
out.
they got Matty Longstaff, legend in
Yeah,
Newcastle.
Matty Longstaff's. Yeah, you're right. He's a legend. You're right. They're not making playoffs, right?
No, I think we
All
can
right,
win
let's
this game.
talk about Atlanta.
Yep.
Big signings. Hoyos, the goalkeeper, coming from Newell's Old Boys. Thomas Jacob, coming from Club Necaxa in Mexico. Adrian Giel, young American from Barcelona. Elias Baez from San Lorenzo. And I think they're adding Fafa Pico. Tom Bogert reported that. My bad, Dom. But he reported that earlier, and I think there may be a loan signing coming in for the midfield, but not sure. And obviously, Guzan retired. Brooks Lennon's gone. Um, Sleesh went to Brøndby. DRA went to Columbus. We talked about that earlier. Noah Cobb went to Colorado Rapids. So Atlanta, I will say, I think they're going to look better this year because of the coach. I
Yeah.
think coach last year I heard reports he's not showing up to practice on time, being unprofessional. I don't fuck with that shit. Got to respect the badge. Got to at least show up to work, you know? And I think, I don't know if Hoyos is going to start. I kind of hope Hibbert starts. Keeping the same three DPs. They got space for another U22 signing. I don't know, man. Atlanta could make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, on paper it looks good, honestly. But and then, like you said, getting Tata in there. I mean, I didn't realize your coach was showing up late. That's kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even think Troy Lesane would do that.
Troy Lesane would never do something like that, but I heard he's not showing up on time to training. Like, I can't have that as a coach. My coach should be there first, my
Yeah,
manager,
yeah,
setting up cones or at least watching the guy that they're paying to set up cones, you know, like at least.
yeah.
But I don't like
MLS.
that. And I think players did say that this was the hardest preseason they've had in a while, which I like. I like that. Tata putting them, you know, into the motion, getting them ready. I so kind of their preseason they beat Lexington 4-0, which I think Lexington is going to be a top 5 USL team this year.
Hmm.
Um, Tying Houston and then coming back down from down 2-0 to win 3-2 against Red Bulls. Those were the three preseason games. Latte Lot scored 4 goals in the 2 games he played. I I think he's going to be an issue this year. I think Miggy's going to be an issue, and I think we're going to play on the front foot a lot more.
That's good, man. Yeah, I
That's
can see you guys making playoffs. I'm
yeah.
excited.
So we'll see. I think Thomas Jacob is actually going to play the six,
Yeah,
and we'll see what they do at right back. But I don't know. There's a lot of versatility in the team. I do like Adrian Gill.
yeah, yeah. He's
I think he's
excited, man.
slept on. He's techie. I think he's really slept on. He could be that guy this year. But let's talk about DC. Your boys getting Ty Baribo, Nikola Markovic in the super draft, Sean Nealis from Red Bulls, getting Luis Montano, the big DP signing from Romania. That's big, honestly. But obviously, losing Benteke, Borisino, um, Schnegg, kind of some big losses, but they kind of filled in like better than they usually do, right?
Yeah, I mean, Borisy now I really enjoyed, but I mean, for him to go to Jerusalem, maybe that was just me being like, oh man, he's good for our level, and then no offense to Israeli football at all, but it is it the same? No.
No,
Um, Baji, waste of space most of the time. Schnegg, disappointing, but that guy we got coming in from Gamba. is going to be exciting. And then Kim,
Really?
yeah, yeah,
Kusakawa,
yeah, the Kurokawa, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but
Japanese guy.
yeah, he's gonna be legit. And you know these Japanese guys. I mean, it was like it for LA Galaxy. Dude, they work so
Yeah,
hard.
they
Like,
do work hard.
I mean, you
They
see it with
do.
the like maybe that's just Asians, like maybe not just Japanese.
No,
Like I
they're disciplined people, and I think they take direction well.
yeah, like Kojima, man, he could run for days, man. And
Yes, yes.
he's techie. Like Kim going out on loan. I mean, he did all right until he got spanked by San Jose, and then he just he had to go. He had to
Yeah,
go, blood.
it's
Um,
tough. It's tough. It happens, but Hefty, Sylvain Hefty, I think he's coming from a hamburger in Germany. He might be a little better than Kai Rouse, maybe. Um, Still have Aaron Herrera, Caden Clark, like Hopkins is still there. I don't know. I'm not going to say they make the playoffs. I don't know if I can commit to that, but their floor is higher than last year.
yeah, I mean, Jared Stroud should never see the field ever again. Um,
Well, he's gone. He's gone. He went to where'd they get him? Oh yeah, Jared Stroud's still there. Never mind.
yeah, his brother left. But
His brother, his brother got traded.
yeah. I mean, we got a lot of depth in the attacking department. Peglo, Pirani, Cervania. It'll be cool to see Markovic come in instantly, and then I mean, goalkeeper hasn't been great since Bill left. So getting
Yeah,
Sean Johnson in, um, yeah, I'm
yeah,
not going
that's
to
a
commit
big
to playoffs
signing.
either. I'm not going to commit as much as I want to, and I'm so hopeful.
Yeah, I don't know if I can commit for Atlanta to make playoffs, but I think they're going to be a lot better.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Um, but we'll see. We'll see. That's the kind of end of our Eastern Conference preview. We're gonna head to great interview we had with Favian Renkel. Um, so enjoy. There we go. It's your stop. We ready? All right. What's up, guys? We've got Favian Renkel on the podcast. He works for Kickbase. He writes, correct, for a bunch of sites. Really excited to have you on the pod today. Kind of introduce yourself and
Yeah.
what you got going, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm in the middle of a podcast tour. So this is like podcast number 35 or something like that. And the goal is 50. So before the MLS season, if we can get to 50, that'd be cool. Nowadays, I'm at Kickbase USA, which is the new home of MLS Fantasy. And I'm excited to be on this project because I think there's a whole bunch of potential in MLS fantasy. I feel like fantasy sports is so big in the US. If we find a way to kind of get everybody involved with fantasy MLS, who knows where it can take the league. But no, it's exciting times here. I moved to New York recently, and it's cold. It's definitely cold compared to California, and I'm excited to be out here. But yeah, I also write for many publications. I worked with the Athletic and the New York Times for the World Cup draw, and then yeah, I'm excited for the MLS season. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, we're excited too. Let's talk MLS. Let's get into it. Let's start with the champs. Inter Miami. Obviously, we're not saying that we're Inter Miami. We don't think they're cheaters per se. But you see the signings and a lot of them make sense. Bertrame makes sense. Mikael makes sense. But Allende, right? You'd think
Yeah.
his loan, his option for purchase would be more than 1 million since he, did so well last year in the playoffs. What do you make of that signing, and how do you think they're making that work?
Yeah, look, Allende is the one, like exactly how you said it. Allende is the one that people are pointing at and saying, hey, how is this going to work under basically a DP salary, right? One, what they could have done is maybe given him extra years on their kind of
Okay.
contract. So it makes the salary go down by times five or times four. Um, Two, he probably took a sweetheart deal to kind of stay in Miami, which is very, very likely. I mean, I posted something on Twitter about how, the Austin FC players had a line outside, basically around the block for them. And I said, hey, like, this is kind of why some players like to play in MLS because they get all this kind of fandom relatively being, some, normal guys. I mean, Owen Wolf is a famous guy, but Tadeo Allende, once he won the MLS championship, had a whole line of fans kind of waiting for him at Dick's Sporting Goods for a meet and greet. And, maybe he wouldn't get that at Celta Vigo, right? And maybe, he's just kind of a regular guy in Spain, but in Miami, he's a superstar. So, if you kind of put all these things into your, thought about Allende, it's like, one, you get to live in the worst city in America, Miami. Two, you get to play with one of the best players to ever live, and three, you made history in MLS. You're on track to being a pretty big player in this league. So if you're Tadeo Allende, do you want to be a superstar in this league, or do you want to just be a regular guy in the other league? And I think that can make, sways anybody's really decision in a sense where, maybe I'll take some less money and then maybe get some more endorsements and things like that. So the way I think that contract works, if everything was done right, the contract got spread out maybe to 4 or 5 years, and then maybe there's some sort of like sell on or smaller transfer fee, and then
It might
maybe
be
he
that
took,
Moss deal.
yeah,
It
yeah,
might
yeah.
be that water deal, man. That fake water deal going on.
And
Uh,
also, yeah, and also I think he could have taken a pay cut to stay kind of in Miami, because also Miami and Florida, they don't have the strongest kind of taxes. So you,
mhm.
like, if you take a look at St. Clair's, yeah, he did take a lot less money, but at the same time, they don't have Minnesota, I think, if I'm not mistaken, has more taxes than Florida. So is it really a pay cut?
That that's fair. And honestly, like the in St. Clair, I feel like when he comes back to Minnesota, I mean, he's got a street named after him,
Yeah.
and then he leaves, what, 2 weeks later? So what do you make of that reception he's gonna get, or do you think Minnesota, they're way too nice and we'll just kind of roll over?
Yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, if you have an opportunity to play for maybe the next powerhouse in MLS, or one of the, an MLS team that's really going to try to compete for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, you have to take it. And that's not even like you're going to play with one of the best players of all time yet. Like, it, it's it's a situation where I think people are a little more understanding because of what Miami is. I mean, if I think if any player got a chance to play with that team, they would. Um, I don't think Minnesotans are going to be too mad. I mean, there might be some boos at the start, but I think it may gloss over pretty quickly. I mean, they
Yeah.
just got James, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, and with James, do you think he's gonna care? That's kind of the question with him, right? Like, is he gonna like kind of care about like in Minnesota? And do you think he's got that player option? So do you think he's gonna like Minnesota in the summer? Or is he gonna bail out after the World Cup?
Honestly, if he if he gives Minnesota 6 months of good soccer, I mean, let's call it like DP level soccer,
Mm.
man, I think it's a win-win for both sides. And I don't think if you're Minnesota, you will be mad at all if he decides to leave. I think you're just going to take whatever he gives you. And if it's DP level soccer, I don't think you can be mad at all. And if it's only 6 months, it's only 6 months. And then maybe hopefully this Minnesota team can kind of hold off in a good playoff position and kind of make, some sort of adjustment in the summer transfer window, and then, make a good playoff push. But yeah, if you're a Minnesota United fan, one thing is you have hope now. You have hope of something. So I think even if he doesn't stay, I think you're still happy with what happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's almost like falling in love with a lone player. Like you're happy that they've been there, and you can cherish the moments, but at the end of the day, they're gonna peace on out of there, whether you like it or not.
Let me give you a little bit of an analogy, right? Just
Yeah.
imagine you went through a long breakup, it's 6 years, and then all of a sudden this really hot girl, she's like, hey, I'm not really looking for long term, just short term. And then you have a great 6 months of your life, and then she goes away, and then you're like, you know what? I'm better than I was before now.
That's yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think that kind of reminds me of like honestly with Jack when Jack Elliott kind of left Philly.
Mm.
At first, I think Philly, struggled, but I mean, Jack did all right with Chicago. I mean, they got to the playoffs, which, not say it wasn't expected, but they did well. So,
Yep.
what do you think of Philly this year? Do you think Bradley Carnell's gonna bring things back? What are you looking at there?
I probably have the worst kind of guide or touch on Philly because every single year I think they're gonna fall from grace, and then every
Yep.
single year they prove me wrong. And I just don't see them this year truly like being that team again. I know I say this, but Bradley Carnell has a history of sophomore slumps, and
Hmm.
they just got rid of a whole bunch of players. And I don't know if Kevin can make that jump yet. I mean, who knows, right? What if
Oh
he
no, no, no. Don't say that. Don't
right?
say that. He's the hope. He's the one hope we got going on right now.
And I was gonna
He's going to
say
be in the
like
World Cup squad.
but what if he does, right? And I'm completely wrong on this
Yeah,
team,
yeah, yeah.
like, no, I don't think supporter shield is in the cards, but who knows? Maybe they can pull together. I mean, Philadelphia just knows how to win. It's like the
Yep.
weirdest team in the country, honestly, because no matter what the players, no matter what the coach, they just find a way to kind of be there. And I would kind of slate them as a playoff team. I don't have the total confidence to say they'll be top four, but I mean, I think this team could, make another run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you think they did sell high with Baribo, with Glesnes, with the guys that they did kind of sell on through MLS? I mean, obviously Kai Wagner has been wanting
Yeah.
to leave for forever,
Right.
and they just haven't pulled the trigger.
Right.
So do you actually think, because like Jack Elliott last year with Chicago, I mean, they made playoffs, but you wouldn't say he's like a great player per se. In
Hmm.
with Chicago, I mean, it might look different with Mbakaze now, but like there was definitely a fall off when he was with Philly. But do you think they did sell high, or do you think this may like backfire in a way?
Yeah, I look at Philly as kind of like a really good organization in terms of getting the most out of your guys so you don't lose any sort of profit. A team that doesn't do that at all is the San Jose Earthquakes. They always forget to sell guys. And then like it can be it could really be like the flip side of things. Like the Earthquakes could be like Philadelphia, sell all their players to get more assets to then, hopefully get more players again. Or you could be the Earthquakes, in constant rebuild because you didn't get any assets for losing key players in your squads. So
And they kind of used Chivas like Saudi Arabia as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, exactly. It's like, hey, we have a half Mexican, like what's up? No, but yeah, that's really true actually. It really bails them out all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but it has been a trend like this year or a couple years. Like Chivas is just literally like, hey, there's an American guy that's Mexican. Maybe we could, get a Mexican passport for him so we can play in the, for the
Right,
Mexican national team. And they get way more money for him than like Johnny Perez was probably not worth 3 mil,
right,
right?
right.
Gutierrez is really good, but he's probably not worth that.
Yeah,
Um,
Cade Cowell is
question,
another one.
yeah, yeah, Cade Cowell as well. Question about Gutierrez. Obviously, like Berhalter didn't play him the first game of the playoffs, or that first leg of the playoffs, kept him on the bench, and it kind of backfired. And then they played him the second leg. Do you think that was kind of a Reyna situation
Yeah,
where he's like, this guy's young, he's not going to step up in the big moments?
yeah, right. Talk about Berhalter not trusting young players, young talented players. This is it's kind of a trend now. I don't know, man. Gutierrez was a pretty good player in MLS, and I think the move to Chivas is always a good one. I don't think playing for the almost second biggest team in Mexico is ever a bad move. The pressure is immense, right? Uh, but hey,
And
I
that
mean,
Marty Supreme movie came out,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's the Mexican Chalamet.
exactly, exactly. No, for real, that really looks like him.
Yeah.
Uh, but Berhalter's gonna Berhalter, right? And I hate to say it, he's gonna find a way to add a little twist to a roster or to a lineup in the way that he wants to. So I think this is kind of a divorce for that's the best of both worlds, where you get a guy that's young and talented that you get a good fee for him, and then he gets the playing time in a bigger club, and then has an opportunity to be on both national teams now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I yeah, I like the way you were looking at that one, kind of like a divorce that ends well.
Yeah.
You talked about you moving from California to New York City. What do you make of this NYCFC this year? I mean, they always seem to do well in playoffs, and Ryan and I talk about it. They play on a very narrow tiki-taka baseball field. They're exciting to
Right.
watch. They got the pitching going in. What do you think about those guys?
Yeah, honestly, great lead in. That's like a radio lead in right there.
Thanks, boss.
That
Appreciate you.
was awesome. No, I think this NYCFC team is sneaky. Like it
Mm,
always is. Like
yep.
last year, nobody thought Maxi Morales would play that many minutes and play that well. I
Yep.
mean, the guy's like almost 40 now. I think if it wasn't MLS or NYC, they both posted a graphic. I think it was that 10 years ago, Maxi Morales signed with us, and I was like, "Jeez, man, he's still kicking." No, but he's a hell of a player, and
Yep.
always plays an enormous amount of minutes for them, man. I don't know. This NYCFC team is tough to kind of get a read on. I mean, they lost Hack. They didn't get Musiala. Excuse me, Ciala.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ciala. They haven't replaced Alonso Martinez because he's going to be out for the season. They need Nico to kind of step up in that striker role, which is a question mark. Talos Magno's back. Can he be something for them? A lot of question marks on this New York City FC side, but the one thing they do have is coaching. I think Pascal Jensen is one of the top kind of coaches in MLS, and I think he's kind of proven that with that MLS playoff run last year. I think possibly he can get the most out of his guys this season and kind of scrap around another playoff berth. But it's going to be tough. I mean, they're going to need guys to step up that have been New York City FC guys forever. And then I'm assuming they're keeping that Ciala spot open for the summer transfer window, just in case some crazy superstar wants to come in, like Griezmann or Casemiro after the World Cup. So uh, it's hard to make predictions this year, to be
Yep.
honest, because a lot of teams are gonna be players in the summer transfer window.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you think the World Cup is really going to affect how, like, just
One
market for everything?
100%. And that's kind of why you see a lot of teams being super gun shy and just grabbing flexibility in the MLS transfer market because this is going to be the biggest MLS showcase for every single team because this is the biggest World Cup they've ever had with the most teams, the most players, and those players are all going to train at MLS facilities. Like this is like a pitch to come join MLS every single day of that month. And I think there's going to be so many MLS teams kind of getting to know the best players in the world, right? Because they're coming to play in the World Cup. It's going to be a situation where a lot of these guys might say, you know what, the facilities are great. There's a lot of fans here. I could live kind of a normal life. I might as well, make it an idea at least to come play here in the States. And I think you're going to also get guys who are too old and won't make that next World Cup cycle, like a Griezmann, like a Casemiro, where they're probably just wanting to finish this World Cup, maybe not make that move right now to not hurt their chances of being in the roster. And then since that World Cup's done, they might come right after it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the way you spin that, man. Because we like Ryan and I down here on the southern part of the East Coast. I mean, we're seeing I can't remember which team's going to Wake Forest, but I mean, just for anybody to be able to train at those Division 1 facilities.
Right.
I know you're the MLS guy, but are you going to see more and more like Europeans coming over and be like, yeah, I want to play for Clemson. Like, I want to play for Wake Forest. Like, why wouldn't I want to train here and, take these hodgepodge classes? I love the universities. I'm an education guy, but, those guys be doing something different.
No, honestly, man, I love this is where a lot of people might give me some flack for, but I
Hmm.
love the college route. I think if
Yep.
you're an MLS player that, of course, you could tell by the age of 18 if you're a phenom, right? Let's say you're a good player, but you're not, like go to school, get a degree, you can always kind of find a place in a college roster and then play ball and then possibly get drafted by an MLS team, because now they can actually draft up to 4 years if I'm not mistaken. They don't have to just draft the guys that are declared.
Right.
And I think honestly, I always think about the San Jose Earthquakes. There's a lot of guys who have Stanford degrees. Like, for example, Seni Buddha is one
Hmm.
who went to
Hmm.
Stanford, got a great degree, and now he plays soccer. And I mean, he's a good soccer player, but if anything ever happens, you have that backdrop. I went to Stanford. You're going to get any job in the world.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that should be the route for a lot of these guys because it's always good to have a backup plan. So no, I'm a big fan of the MLS Super Draft, going to college, at least experiencing a little bit of it and getting a degree. Maybe on like a fast track kind of idea, so you can get out before 21 or something like that, and then boom, you have a full soccer career, and then after you can, who knows, be the president of the MLSPA because you went to Stanford.
Sweet. Sweet. I
Th-
like that.
There's a there's always a guy that kind of impresses out of the super draft where you don't really know these guys. No one's really watching college soccer unless they're really in it.
Yeah.
And who do you think this year is going to really impress? Obviously, like I've been seeing like Ricky Lewis for FC Dallas, kind of tearing it up in preseason. But who do you think will kind of be like the who's the guy for San Diego, the center back, Ka or Manu Ka, or who do you think is going to be that guy this year?
Yeah, look, a guy who I mean, this is kind of the easiest choice, but Nikola Markovic
Hmm.
at DC United, I
Yep.
think, if I'm not mistaken, has a starting role already, right? Or at
Yeah.
least is going to have a very
I mean, he
prominent.
should. They were kind of Swiss cheese last year, so
Yeah,
we got.
might have like a pretty prominent role with that team. So, and that team is kind of like they got Ty Baribo. They brought in the other DP, the expensive one. Excuse me, forgetting, but the one they spent the most money on.
Muntano, the Romanian
Yes,
guy. Yeah.
yes. And hey, who knows what happens with this team this year? I mean, they can kind of shock the world, and who knows, they might be a playoff team. But seeing for example, seeing a super draft pick kind of have already a prominent role in year one is wild. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for Markovic. And then it's tough, like you said. You got to really watch college ball.
Yeah.
uh, but then I'm gonna say this. I wish they took the super draft a little more seriously at MLS and made a whole show of it.
Ryan
Oh,
and I
just
were,
like
yeah.
Radio City Music Hall, like do the whole thing.
Something, right? And they should definitely have an MVP honors show. Like a lot of things, MLS could change
I
to kind of
like
make
that.
it feel more professional. Like, what does it take to have? I mean, every other major league has it in the United States.
Yeah. Like I remember they didn't do it this year at the United Soccer Coaches Convention, but in years prior they held the NWSL draft there. And it was
Mm,
great. All the coaches that were there for like in Anaheim got to see these uh female players get drafted on the big stage, and like I don't know why they don't do that. And maybe this year's a new year for the
all
super
right.
draft to kind of switch in that direction, but um yeah, man. What I guess moving in the like the optics of everything. I mean, what do you think about the Apple TV transition now that they're kind of taking away the paywall and whatnot? And I think MLS numbers were up this year, if I'm not mistaken. Overall, I know there was the Apple TV stuff, but do you think more people are going to be watching MLS this year?
Yeah, look, I mean the Apple numbers were up because Miami made it far in the playoffs, right?
Right.
Like no Miami in the MLS Cup, of course you're not going to have the ratings. And then Ricky Puig went down too, and
Yep.
that like really lost all aspects of being a big game for the casual, right? And it's interesting. I always never was a big fan of the paywall that was $80 for Apple TV. I always thought
Hmm.
that was kind of ludicrous. I was like, that's so weird to me. But if you think about it, MLS did have to pay their whole production costs to themselves. So that, in my opinion, is probably why that was, so high. They could have basically all these shows and have it funded by the people paying the $80 paywall. And another thing, this is probably why we're seeing a lot of the Latino or the Spanish content kind of dwindle away, because they don't have that $80 bonus or cushion to kind of make other shows. So that's why you kind of see the at least the Spanish side dwindling just a bit. But no, I'm a huge fan of the paywall being taken down. I'm a huge fan of maybe people stumble upon it and they can actually watch it.
Yep.
You know how hard it was as an MLS journalist to explain to people which games were free? Like,
Yeah.
geez, man, like that was the most frustrating thing, because I remember there was a point where I was like, I'm trying to explain to every single person what the free weeks or free games of the week were. And it was just like, imagine if you're a bar owner and you had to remember that. Like, you don't even have the Apple TV in that TV, and you
Yep.
have to remember which ones are free. Like, no, man, like this is crazy, But I with the F1 deal for Apple TV, and hey, maybe there's some crossover there, because there's a lot of F1 fans that are international fans, and
Hmm.
at least, international Americans, or at least international liking Americans, may like soccer a bit more than the guy who would watch NASCAR, right? So, um, my thing is, yeah, I'm excited for the Apple TV deal to kind of have no paywall, and then also bring other sports to Apple TV, because maybe more people get Apple TV. And then now, hey, you can actually get a ping for Messi in a game, and you can actually watch it. Like before,
Yeah.
we always said, like, why don't they send out push notifications to every single iPhone? Well, they had to get an $80 paywall,
Yeah.
and now you can actually do that. So I'm interested, and I think it's a great move, to be honest, to get rid of that paywall.
Right.
And there's no blackouts, which is a pain for any other sport in this country. I think the production is way better than like
Yeah.
Fox Sports. Like we did like an alt cast for the MLS Cup, and we were watching the Stuart Holden, commentary. We had to switch to Twelman. And we're not
Yeah.
Twelman guys, you know? Like we're anti-Twel on this podcast. But it is much better. But let's talk St. Louis. So we call them the dog food boys on this podcast, but obviously they're just signed, or they hired their CSO. Their first CSO stole a penguin back in the day, and then they hire the CSO from DC United.
Mm.
So in the last week of January. So what do you think they're kind of like? There's not much going on there. You could see in the roster that it's probably a walkover for most of MLS, you'd say, and they have a new coach. So what do you think of St. Louis, and do you think they're like, is there any excitement around there? Which, I mean, the first season was awesome under Bradley
Yeah.
Cornell.
Yeah, honestly, if you're a St. Louis City fan, you may be excited for the gam you got on the Klaus deal,
Yep.
because maybe you could turn that into something during the summer transfer window. But man, may like that first year, the way the stadium was rocking in St. Louis, I had it touted as, man, did we just see like a powerhouse of a new club come into fruition? And then over the last couple of years, it's kind of the same team over and over again. And at some point, if you
So
stroll out the same thing and expect different, the different results, you're kind of a maniac, right? Well, that's what they say. Like,
yeah,
uh,
we talked about them last year, how they have real technical players, but they have no one to really stretch
right,
in a league where it's all counterattacking.
exactly. And I think their additions to the back line, Mamadou Fall, is actually a great addition. I think if you're going to attack this team in a certain way, or if you're going to be the GM of this team, you have to fix up that defense, because you re-signed Berkey as well. So if you're going to beat any team, you need a good defense. And I think if if the German guys up top can kind of find their form of 2 years ago, where they kind of came into the leagues, guns a blazing, hey, who knows? Maybe this team can do some damage in a weaker Western Conference. But as of right now, I think nothing too exciting, besides like maybe defensive wins in their near future.
Yeah.
Defensive wins.
like a Seattle Sounders light, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair. Talking about powerhouses that we all thought St. Louis was going to be. We could talk about FC Cincinnati. And
Yeah.
their roster depth. I mean, Denke, Evander, list goes on. With such big names and such guys that can play pretty much anywhere in the world. I mean, do you think Cincinnati should be entertaining offers coming in for those guys? I know it's a tough balance, but at some point you got to let the reins loose.
Yeah, look, I love Cincinnati because this is the first point in my career, or even watching MLS, I've
Mhm.
seen a team say, no, there are superstars.
Yep.
Whatever dollar you throw at us, you're not getting. There are superstars. And that's as if I was a Cincinnati fan, man, I would be jumping for joy and going to buy an Evander jersey right now. Like, no doubt in my mind, these boys are gonna be Cincy guys, and I would be just hyped for the season because I've never seen that type of bravado from an MLS
Hmm.
team where it's like, yo, you want to throw 25 mil at a guy?
Get out of
Psych,
here. Get
he's
out of
our
here.
MLS MVP, like, which is wild, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
Sun came for what, 22 million and they want 25 for Evander, like, jeez. But no, Evander's a great player. I've actually, had the pleasure of interviewing many times, and I think he's a great superstar for this league. And I think I was very happy that they made the cash for kind of rule for him, really. I mean,
Hmm.
it was like the Evander Lucho Acosta rule at one point, and Dejan Jovic too. And I
I mean,
think,
it's kind of the getting out of Portland rule.
yeah, exactly, right. Exactly. But no, I think Cincinnati is, man, they should be riding high on confidence because they kind of, shifted MLS into this maybe 4.5 new tier where it's like, yeah, we don't have to sell to you guys because we don't need the money, which is so weird to say.
Yeah,
In a
100%.
in a market where like realistically, how many guys are coming from Europe or South America and they're impressed? Like I've been to Cincinnati. No shame on Cincinnati, but like Skyline Chili and all that must get old after a while.
Hey,
Um,
man, you can do some rice underneath it. You can do
yeah.
some
Oh, they're
kale,
doing rice. Doing rice. That's kind of next level. But I think a great place to play might be the best, and I think it may have the best home field advantage in MLS is Vancouver.
Mm,
Um, Talk about their team. Obviously, they had to get rid of something, some, players. Ali Ahmed left. But there's, Berhalter and Blackman on their last year of their contract. They don't even know if they're going to stay in Vancouver for this
yeah.
long. Um, do you think they got better over the season? Honestly, I really like the Ali Larraz signing. I think that he brings something to the midfield that, like, obviously Vite left and they lost that attacking sense. But once Mueller came, they don't really need that. So that now they
Right.
have kind of a passer that can move the ball. But what do you think of Vancouver and their kind of some or January window?
Yeah, look, Vancouver, man, if you're a Vancouver Whitecaps fan, that must be so tough right now because you don't know if you're even going to have a team. Like, you guys landed one of the biggest European transfers of all time to come to MLS, and now your government's like, I don't know if we want to let you guys play here anymore. Just keep renting it out, which is wild to me because I was at the LAFC Vancouver match in the playoffs, and I saw the city shut down for the supporters, the Southsiders kind of marched to the stadium. I kid you not, it was at least 8,000 people walking through uh, Vancouver's downtown to the stadium, and I was like, "There's no way in hell this team is moving. Like, this is a solid fan base." And it's just shocking to me that they can't find an agreement or they can't find a better deal for the Whitecaps. And it's hard for the Whitecaps because they're basically in the red every single day they play, So how do you get an owner to buy that too? So it's interesting. I'm almost in the camp where it's like, hey, Thomas, can you find some investors and maybe you just buy the team, Maybe just pay yourself a cheaper salary, even cheaper, and save that towards equity. But I like this roster a lot. It sucks for MLS Cup teams that go to the final because they all trigger bonuses, and then you eventually have to get rid of guys. They got rid of
Hmm.
Jaden Nelson, which was a guy who was kind of out of the 11 anyway because of Ryan Gauld coming back from injury, and you have to play Thomas Mueller. There's no way about it. And like you said, Ali Ahmed, you got a good kind of package for him, and now he's killing it at Norwich. Uh, it's tough, but I think this Vancouver team has kept as much as they can. I mean, Takaoka had a great year. Blackman had a great year. I think Berhalter had a great year. I mean, the spine is still intact, in my opinion. I think you can find guys. Sabi came out of nowhere. I
Yep.
think you can find guys to kind of really fill in those holes that they were left behind by Ali Ahmed and the other guys that left, but or Nelson, excuse me. And I truly think Mueller being healthy and Berhalter staying and Blackman staying, I think this is still a powerhouse, and I think this team could still beat LAFC in the playoffs. And a true, I hate to say it because they won the Western Conference last year, or very or close to it. They're a dark horse, but they're kind of a contender at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like they've been quietly good for a long time, for like a 4 or 5 years since they've
Right.
gotten that Ryan Gold, Brian White partnership. But do you think this is kind of the end, their window per se, with Berhalter and Blackman kind of on their last years of their contract? Who knows if they can pay those guys what they want?
Yeah, I think Mueller really signaled that they're trying to go all out in this window, or at least in this kind of 1 to 2 or even 3 year kind of gap here, where yeah, maybe you could stockpile the roster and get something done. And I think they showed that with the MLS Cup final run. Hey, maybe they're a contender to win something else this year. Maybe it's not MLS Cup. Who knows what they can.
Canada Cup.
Yeah, a Canada Cup is always that right. They always get it, but maybe they can have some sort of run in CONCACAF champions. I'm thinking it could be something where they could shock the world and meet Miami in the final again.
Yeah.
Yeah, who do you, out of all the MLS teams, obviously we've seen San Diego FC kind of dominate Pumas in the CONCACAF Champions League, but do you have like a kind of out of the MLS teams that are in it? Obviously Miami is going to be a favorite, but other than them, do you see like a dark horse in that tournament?
I'm gonna say something that's gonna be so crazy,
Ooh.
but the LA Galaxy could kind of shock the world with their new defense. And kind of really take it to the guys in Mexico. I think the Galaxy could kind of see this as, hey, we're not beating Messi in a final, like. But if we find a way to kind of make a Concacaf Champions Cup final, who knows? Maybe we can, like League's Cup was for them. This could be our season. So it is interesting because another year without Ricky, and you kind of have to be honest with yourself, right? Like, can this team compete with LAFC and in Miami during the full stretch of things? It's kind of tough to really think about, and maybe like a tournament style could benefit them. And I think they've shown that they're pretty good at it. You still have Marco Royce. You have a brand new defense. If Peck and Paintsel can play to what they were in the MLS Cup run, who knows? Maybe this team could be back. I just think over time, Royce is going to get tired. Maybe, maybe it's hard to kind of replace that 10. But right now, once, because CONCACAF Champions Cup kind of ends halfway through the season, maybe you can pull something together in these next kind of 5 or 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, talking about getting back over to the red, white, and blue. MLS is a young league, young and old at the same time. Who do you see being the young American to break out this year? I know we have Cavan. We got Gozo coming out. Is there anybody on your radar?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna go out west. I think I talked about them a lot, but
Uh-huh.
the San Jose Earthquakes is basically Timo Werner and the boys. All right, and the boys, they need to have a stellar season for them to do anything this year. And I'm talking about the boys being Nico Sakiris and Bo LaRue. I think those two boys got dogs in them, and I think they can make that next step this year. Bo's already banging in goals in the preseason, and then Nico just got the number 10 for the San Jose Earthquakes, and he needs to make that next jump.
He's a big kid.
Yeah,
He's like it seems like San Jose just makes big dudes. Like Cade Cowell, like he's fast, but he's also
yeah,
like an animal. You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
like it seems like they just have big dudes. His brother is really good as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And Nico's really good at shooting free kicks too. So who knows? Maybe this could be the season where they find a gem in Nico. And I mean, Bo played well last year, but hey, maybe he can make the next step and even maybe get some sort of look in a cupcake camp for the USMNT and who knows? Maybe more, right? So if you're a USMNT fan, I think the team to really watch, of course, is RSL for Diego Luna to see how he's balling out. Columbus for Max Arfson to see how he's balling out. And then San Jose could be one there. But Max and Diego are two guys who I don't think are going to stay past the summer transfer window. I think they're both going to make that World Cup roster, and then I think they're both gone.
Mm.
so like I guess San Diego, you'd think that Chuck Lozano would be bought out by now. Like you get one buyout, you'd think he'd get that, but do you think they're still trying to find suitors for him? Like what do you think because he's not going to play, right?
Yeah, it's super weird, this whole situation. I mean, Mikey Vara has basically said, I think it's Tyler Heaps, his GM. I hate him. Like I'm just gonna say to the press, Lozano is not in our plans. And then you literally lose all kind of offers on the table at any price point to kind of recoup it. I don't know, man. If I was a coach, I don't think I would ever say that. I don't think you benefit anything from that, because now you're getting lowball offers. You're probably getting no offer that's really reasonable. And we're having this conversation about using a buyout on a crazy DP in this league, right? Like crazy in terms of marketing and could be
Yeah,
good, right?
and it sucks because all those San Diego fans definitely a lot of them bought his jersey. There's a
Right.
high Hispanic population down there. They definitely bought his jersey. Um, and it seems like honestly his only destination is probably Mexican League, right? Like he's not at probably no one wants him in Europe anymore. He's kind of aged out or skilled out of that, right?
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of destinations for him.
I know I say this.
But
Uh-huh.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I know I talk about this a lot, but San Jose is a perfect landing spot for him. I personally think. I mean, imagine if San Jose loses Chicho and Espinoza and Josef, and then they get Timo Werner and Chucky Lozano. I think a lot of fans in San Jose would look
Yeah,
at that and be like, "Wow, this is not a
I
bad
just
kind of
feel like
trade."
like Bruce loves that high pressing two in the front,
Yeah,
and I know Werner's going to do it, but I don't think Chuck Lozano's going to do the running. I
yeah,
just don't think so.
yeah. You have to get someone that's bought in for sure to play under Bruce, and I mean, Chicho's pretty good, even though, there was maybe attitude problems. He got a couple of goals where he was, chomping on the press and it was an easy kind of tap in because they, made a mistake in the back for their defense. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. But yeah, Bruce saying those guys were addition by subtraction is kind of wild. But, hopefully the Quakes, do something this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We're supporting San Jose over here, but yeah, man. You got a DP of the year? I know you're not a predictions guy, but who are you looking at, man?
For the DP of the year
Yeah,
or
yeah. I know, big
like MVP
prediction.
or
No, yeah,
MVP.
MVP.
Yeah.
okay. MVP. Let me see. Oh, okay. I have this where I think Messi slows down a bit this year. I think Messi kind of takes it a little slower than normal because this is a World Cup year. And I think it's going to be a very similar rollout to what he did for Copa America, where he had a lot of hamstring tightness and he sat out a whole bunch of games. And I think Son is just going to play every single game. And I think Son is with Luanga is going to have such a crazy year. If you put his numbers through, like, let's say, extend them to be 30 games or around that, he would have had 30 goals. He would have had a
Yeah,
very,
they went on a tear.
he,
They went on a real tear when he got there, and
right.
it was honestly frightening.
It was very Carlos Vela-esque, and imagine that in a first, full season. I mean, I even joked about newcomer of the year, like, hey, Son is kind of crazy, guys. I know Dryer deserves it, but Son's kind of wild. Like the conversation could be there. And yeah, no, I think Son is going to win MVP this year, just because I think Messi's going to take some time off, or at least not risk getting hurt for the World Cup, because at the end of the day, that's his priority.
Yeah, what is your favorite kit
My
of the year?
favorite kit. Honestly, this is going to be a weird choice, but out of the new ones,
Yeah.
out of the new ones, I really like the Austin FC kit. I think the
Oh,
Austin white kit looks
you
really
don't think it
clean.
you don't think it looks like the Miami kits from last year that look like Victoria's Secret bags, but it's just in like Girl Scout Thin Mint color?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I kind of like that, like,
It is clean, yeah.
yeah, that like really thin mint. Yeah, exactly, thin mint
Yeah.
kind of look. I don't know. I just was shocked. I mean, I like LAFCs. I think LAFCs is always good. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a bad
Tough
LAFC
to
year.
mess up black in
Right.
gold.
Right.
It's really tough.
And their whole Art Deco style is really cool. I can tell you one I'm not really a fan of.
Do it.
St. Louis. I think,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, it looks like it I guess it's a Tina Turner tribute.
yeah.
But it
I'm
looks like just C3PO.
yeah. You're right. You're not wrong.
Yeah, that's a bad one. I mean, I guess this year it's a lot of home kits, right?
Right.
So it's a lot of traditional kits. Like the Sounders one looks clean, I think. The Colorado one, I guess, like the only thing cool about it is the collar, but a lot of people like it. But Favian, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
This was really, really cool. Do you have anything else? Anything else you want to plug?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Yeah, if you guys want to play MLS Fantasy, Kickbase is 100% free to play. So you can go ahead and kind of make a league with your friends, and everybody can play for free. If you're listening and you're in the New York area, we're having a launch party out here in Manhattan. So definitely come by. It's free. I mean, we're going to have drinks, a DJ, kind of everything to kind of launch this MLS season. So definitely keep an eye out for that if you're in the area. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm excited for this MLS season. And make sure you guys play fantasy, because who knows? It can grow.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Well, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, guys. I hope you liked that interview with Fabian. I thought it was a great talk, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, great guy. Shout out. Where does he work? What's that?
Kickbase
Yeah, yeah, kick.
fantasy.
Um,
We may have to start a Kickbase fantasy group or something.
yeah, yeah. We'll put out the link. If you guys are looking for a rager, Friday night, 8 to 10, Manhattan. Kick base, open bar, top
It's a
shelf.
kickback, Kickbase
Kick,
kickback.
kick base, kickback.
Yeah, people don't know about that Kickbase kickback life, man.
Yeah, yeah. Gotta go. We were gonna go, but
Yo,
we're too big time. Um,
I don't want to say
I'm
we're too
just
big
kidding.
time.
I'm
We're
just
just
kidding.
might be though. I mean, the biggest podcast in Southeast Virginia. So, um, sh-
All right.
shout out to
Vancouver.
us. But let's talk about the West. Let's talk about the reigning Western Conference champions, Vancouver Whitecaps. Big additions. Larraz coming from Colorado. Really like that signing. Bruno Saicedo from Ecuador, Barcelona SC in Ecuador. Aziel Jackson. He was on St. Louis and Columbus for a while. I don't know. I think he's a fun, like, attacking player. And Cheek Sabali coming from Mets. I think he's like a good backup, like forward, but like he scored a lot of goals in League Two, and that usually translates to MLS.
Yep.
So we'll see. But kind of the subtractions: Daniel Rios leaving, Jaden Nelson going to Austin FC, Ali Ahmed going to Norwich, Those are kind of the big subtractions, but stacked, right? Still stacked.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that went to the final and only losing Jaden Nelson and who wasn't even really consistently playing, and then Ali
Yeah.
Ahmed and Danny Rios as well. But yeah, I mean, still big names: Brian White, Thomas Mueller, um, Seabass, Tate Johnson, Blackman, um, Takoka, and
Takaoka.
Sabi, and with Ryan Gold injured, you know.
Yeah.
So
Which they held up pretty well without him last year. I'm not saying Ryan Gold's not like a cracking player, but held up pretty good without him last year. I like Kenji Cabrera a lot. I thought when he came in off the bench last year, he was impactful.
yep,
He didn't really, I don't think he really got in a rhythm, an MLS rhythm per se. Like they got him in that like secondary window. So I think him like a full year, I'm excited about. He's kind of like a fun, like he's Japanese, but he's also Peruvian, which is kind of like a, I don't know, culture guy, you know?
yeah,
Um, but Blackman, Berhalter, last year, their contracts, that's kind of scary per se. Their kind of window is closing, as we talked about in the interview, but I, s- I still think they're playoff bound and maybe, like Supporter Shield
yeah, yeah. I mean, hopefully we
winner.
don't see
So,
Seabass and Tristan, not really caring in their last year, but I don't think that's
I
in their
mean,
cards.
they're also playing for their next contract.
Yeah,
So,
that was gonna be my next point. It's like, hey, they know they're out.
plus it's a World Cup year. Like Berhalter's, I don't know if he's a lock for the World Cup team per se. Like he's definitely in that conversation, but there's a lot of midfielders. Blackman, he may be in the like. I mean, he was MLS Defensive Player of the Year. He may be in that conversation for the World Cup. I don't know. So they're still playing for that. But I don't know. Fun Vancouver team. They've got great fans. I hope they don't move. Um, but yeah, that Vancouver making the playoffs, eh?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
For sure. San Diego, fun team to watch. Fun team to watch. I watched them in the CONCACAF Champions League against Pumas. Really fun team to watch. Um, big additions, I guess. Bombino, Oscar Verhoeven, Vakari, Vasquez, all these guys they had on loan last year, they kind of made permanent. Getting Lewis Morgan from Red Bulls is, I think, a huge signing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for Red
Um,
Bulls, I mean, for him to leave Red Bulls is disappointing, but cool for
yeah,
San Diego.
honestly. Yeah, like I think a big signing. Like he's gonna like kind of fall in right where Lozano played last year, right? I think
Probably
Bryce
even a
did.
little more impactful because Lozano
Yeah,
was
maybe.
expected to play as a striker. Like they're not San Diego's nine department was kind of lacking. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, Lewis Morgan
Yeah,
coming in.
yeah. I mean, like honestly, like Pellegrino does pretty well up there. Like they don't need much because their wingers create so much space.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. They're a really fun team. I don't think any of their guys that they lost from last year, like Delatorre, Patty McNair, like none of those guys are like impact players that they lost, which is weird for an expansion team because they usually go hard,
Yeah.
right? Um, but I mean, really, what do you think their weakness is? Like center back,
Yeah,
goalkeeper?
I mean, Chris McVeigh isn't. He thinks he's a lot better than he actually is. Bombino really enjoy on the left hand side. Yeah, I mean Pellegrino, as old as he is, like he's efficient. Um,
Yeah.
and man, Godoy, like that dude can ball. Like
Hmm.
he's one of
Yeah.
my favorite centermen. Like if I could trade anybody, I would grab Godoy to play alongside J Hop.
Yeah. He's a beast. He's a veteran.
Yeah,
Tsarikov, I think he's like really good, and
yeah.
he's probably I don't know, man. He might be the hottest guy in MLS.
Hey, hey, hey. Well, we'll get the
No,
Liverpool girlies on there. They can tell us about Salvaslai. We can tell them about to Sarkov.
I'd I'd like that actually. San Diego, I think they're up there still.
Yeah, they're
Up
back.
there still.
They're back.
Top five for me in the West.
Might win the West. I mean, who knows?
Might win the West. Might win the West. LAFC, I think is we can move on to LAFC. I think they're a powerhouse, and uh, we'll just talk about their additions here. Getting Schaufelberg from Nashville, getting Tyler Boyd off waivers, getting Amin Boudry, the midfielder from Gais in Sweden, getting Steven Stacchio, the Canadian player from
He
Porto on
he
loan. I
he's gonna be
think,
good.
yeah, I think he's going to be really good, and that's what they kind of needed. I thought their midfield wasn't as like strong last year. And even if it doesn't work out, the loan, they still got Igor Jesus, as a six. So it's almost like a win-win.
Yeah.
Um, Guys they lost. I mean, it's really didn't really lose much except yeah, they didn't really lose anybody. It's really they lost people that really didn't perform well last year. So full season of Bunyaga and Heung-min Son.
Insane. I mean, I would say it's more efficient than Messi and Suarez. Um,
Yes.
like hands down.
Yeah, I don't know why Bunyaga would want to leave. He always flirts with it. But if you're gonna play with Heung-min Son and just fly around like they did last year, why leave?
Yeah, I mean yeah. Buwanga is I don't know. Hopefully, I'm glad he didn't get like jealous of Youngman's son. You know what I mean? Like for him to come in and take all the Asian baddies away from Buwanga. I know Youngman's son's a family guy, but
Do you
I'm
think
just glad
do you think
there wasn't any envy.
Bunyaga's kind of a diva a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I was
But
thinking. I was like, man, son's coming in. I mean, he's being on billboards. Will Ferrell's coming. Oh, yeah, never mind. I was gonna say something
yeah.
crazy, but
Uh, Yeah, I'm really interested in Steven Estacchio, how he plays in MLS. It's Canadian, like he's gonna play in the World Cup, so he wants to play well. He wants to get minutes. David Martinez is a really fun player to watch. He just hadn't been consistent, I'd say. Um, but their defense, if I hope they don't need it, because it's like it's no one on the defensive back line that you're scared of.
yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Hugo Lloris is still there, getting older, but still there. Um, but yeah, top five in the West for me. Let's talk about the Loons, Minnesota.
Yep.
Big moves, getting Peter Stroud, proud Stroud boy. Um, Go from New York Red Bulls. Thomas Shonkalai coming from New England for really nothing. Drake Callender from Charlotte. To replace Dame St. Clair, who's left. Um, Getting James Rodriguez, right, on a free. It's
Yep.
probably their biggest signing, and getting Kyle Duncan on a free. But losing Dane St. Clair, losing Robin Lod, losing Joseph Rosales. Um, those are kind of their better players last year. Um, New coach, right?
Yep.
But not new. It's been with the team for a while. Do you think they play a better brand of ball than last year?
I think it depends on James, honestly. Like
Yeah.
if James is in, bought in, they're gonna do well. They're gonna fly. Again, they've lost. I think their expectation is that they remain the same, but they shouldn't be disappointed if they do worse. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. That may be too easy of me to say as somebody from the outside, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
what do you think?
I think they got good players.
Yeah.
I really like Anthony Markinich. Really like Triantis. Yaboa for me is not just hadn't been consistent enough.
Yeah.
as a DP player. Um, and honestly, I don't know. Drake Callender taking a year off when he really wasn't that great anyway, I think may hurt them a little bit, but we'll see. They got some decent depth in their team, but I don't think they make playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that.
I think they I don't know. I don't I think the James drama will kind of cloud the team a little bit. And I
I can
don't
see
think they
that.
have a strong enough coach to pick up the pieces from that.
I can
So
see that.
so we'll see. We'll see Seattle move on to Seattle, grabbing Hassani Dotson, getting Nikola Petkovic from Charlotte. Those are their two big signings. Big losses. Ryan Kent, the Alligator Man, leaving. Joe Apollo leaving. Daniel Leyva leaving. Obed Vargas going to Atletico Madrid. Honestly, Seattle's always been a next man up team. Seems like Hassani Dotson is going to take that role potentially of where Obed Vargas was. Still got Rothrock. Still got both Rodon brothers. I think Christian Roldan is going to make the World Cup squad. Honestly, still really strong team. Seattle's always, I think, has the best culture in the league, club culture. And I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Morris is still going to score 12, 12 goals. Um,
I Yeah, I think there was a Osaze de Rosario is going to have a big year this year.
yeah, yeah. He's and again, I don't think the nine is is anybody's up for grab or it is up for everybody's grabs. I think
Yeah,
JMO is a Seattle guy, but again, he's falling off.
yeah,
Still plays like a linebacker or fullback, but
yeah,
Stanford.
and I don't, yeah, I don't know. Della Vega's hurt right now. I don't
Yep.
know if I see Jesus Ferreira as a winger per se.
No.
Um, Nuhu Tolo's still there. You see, he was like rumored to go to Marseille,
Yeah, yeah.
which
Crazy.
is crazy to me. But I think Seattle's up. I don't think they're like uh, they may limp in, but they had a crazy run the second half of the year
Yeah.
to give me like I don't know they could do something this year. Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl that could field things.
12th man.
12th man. They have great fans, kind of like Orlando we were talking earlier. So I don't know. I think they make playoffs. What do you think?
I think they squeeze in. And
Yeah,
I think they run off vibes.
yeah.
I think Rusnak does something crazy, like scores a hat trick after being down like 4-1 or something like that
In the playoffs.
before the playoffs to get into the playoffs.
Oh, okay. I like that. I
Yeah,
like that
he
actually.
puts the city on his back, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's a beast. Let's move on to Austin. Their big signings: Jaden Nelson from Vancouver, Joseph Rosales from Minnesota, and then Facundo Torres from Palmeiras. DP signing. He did play for Orlando City. Um, they're big. They really didn't. They got rid of Bukari. He was trash. They got rid of him. I think they're gonna get rid of Uzuni as well. So another DP spot will open. But getting that Owen Wolf contract done, I think, is their biggest move of the offseason.
Yeah, I mean that midfield is going to be uh, pretty good. You got Danny P, shout at him, Owen Wolf, big time contract guy, and then Illy Sanchez, kind of like a veteran. I don't really like the way
Yeah.
Illy plays, like tucked in shirt, which is crazy. He just doesn't fit Austin to me. But again, with Jaden Nelson and then Facundo Torres, I mean that like I hope.
Yeah.
How long is Brandon Vasquez out?
I think I think he's going to be out the first month or two,
Okay, so not really
but
out too much.
not really out too long. I think his plan is I think Austin plays the first game at Inter Miami's new stadium.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think his plan is to play in that, is to get healthy by that time. But if they get rid of Uzuni and they don't fill that DP10 or DP9, like they don't replace Uzuni with a 9 and maybe get a midfielder, they can maybe move Danny Pereira to the 6 and maybe get like an 8 that kind of complements Owen Wolf in a way.
Yeah.
I think that would be probably their biggest because Dubaransky and Sanchez, Ilie Sanchez, aren't long term kind of midfielders for Austin, you'd say.
Yeah.
And I do think Brad Stuber has some competition for that goalkeeper position. Damian Loss was the USL Championship goalkeeper of the year last year. So definitely have some competition, but I don't know. I think Austin is expected as enough as they are. Getting Jaden Nelson, I think, will make that center center forward position much easier.
Yeah.
Uh, and Facundo Torres as well. Like he's a really good player.
I see him
That
making
I think,
playoffs is kind of like the dark horse.
yeah, yeah. I think like if they get that like 6 or 7 spot, and they could beat like a team that's in that 1 through 3 maybe,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe make some noise. But Austin, Austin rocks
Austin.
when they're really good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, love Austin or ish. Um, FC Dallas, the other one of the other Texas teams. Guess like really Nick Simmons, Ricky Lewis in the Super Draft. I think are great signings or great draft picks. Getting Sarah from Montreal. They always sign a bunch of homegrown kids that may work, may not. Who knows? Um, and then I guess the biggest departure was Martin Paez going to Ajax, even though people I thought on Twitter overreacted about that when he kind of lost his job by the end of the year. But
Yeah,
people
he
just
was
don't
just
know
looking for a
ball.
way out.
People just don't know ball. Um, but if you look at if you look at this FC Dallas team, um, Shaq Moore, obviously a great. Peter Musa and Farrington played pretty well together. Uh, I don't know. They just kind of in the bad Western Conference kind of found a way to win last year, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Any team with Shaq Moore surprises me, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna die by that statement.
yeah.
Um,
He's a. I mean,
he's a locker room guy.
he's a locker room guy. I don't even know if he's a locker room guy, but I hope he is. I think he's a vibes guy.
You think he's Ox? Like,
He's probably Ox. I mean, who else in the? They're not giving one of these kids Ox,
no, I
right?
can't give Nick Simmons or Ricky Lewis Ox. No, no.
No, like, uh, yeah, they're not giving him Ox. Shaq Moore, I think, is one of the best athletes Georgia, the state of Georgia, has ever created. And I stand by that. I mean, ton of great athletes come from Georgia. Shaq Moore shouldn't have played soccer. Everybody
He could
knows it.
walk into a
He could
University of
walk into an
Georgia.
NFL roster,
Yeah, 100%.
play
He
running
could probably
back.
play Six Nations rugby, honestly.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to
What are
see
they called?
six
Black flag? What's New
all
Zealand
black.
called?
You talking about the
Yeah,
All
yeah, All
Blacks?
Blacks, All Blacks. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he could play the Stars and Stripes. I'm sure sixes, something like that. Rugby, I love that. But I
Get him off
don't
the field.
know if
Um,
I don't know if Dallas, obviously, like Dallas got their way in last year. I do kind of think Eric Quill's pretty good, but as a manager, but I don't know, man. You see it and you're like, I don't
it,
know.
it's almost like a headache, like trying to figure out, man, what am I gonna actually play? You know, like nobody. I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah.
they're the worst team in Texas. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I
Put
think
it
this
out
year they
there.
are the worst team in Texas.
Worst team in Texas.
I think
I like that.
We'll get to
I
Houston in a
like that.
sec. We'll get to Houston in a sec.
Yeah, we'll get to Houston. Let's talk about Portland a little bit. No real signings except Cole Bassett, which I think will be a really good signing for them in a
He's fine.
trade with Colorado. But another year of like a player just not wanting to play there. David Ayala getting traded to Inter Miami. Um, they waived Jonathan Rodriguez. Like I think that was a good move for them because they get a DP signing kind of out
Yep.
the way, right? But Portland's tough. I don't think they're making playoffs. Like I see Anthony leaving at some point,
I see
but
Kevin Kelsey leaving too.
Kelsey's not good.
He can
I
be
think he's
on
the
his
most
day.
overrated on his day, but I think he's very overrated.
He's not consistent for sure.
No. This Christopher Velde guy, I think he got a red card in a preseason game.
Love it,
I like that.
honestly. Yeah,
I
as
like
a
that.
winger. Yeah,
As
tell
a
me
winger,
more.
I like that.
Tell me more.
I
Was
like
it
that. I
against
think
DC?
it might have been, yeah. It
Mm,
might have been. I like that kind of, jam to his game. I re and I think he's gonna be a demon this year. I'll just say it. Um, he spoke pretty highly. Getting Alex Bonatig, another like Aussie. I know Finn Sermon's New Zealand, but that like oceanic
yeah,
vibe,
yeah,
I think is big. They don't really have a goalkeeper, so we'll see. But I don't think Portland's making playoffs. What do you think?
yeah. No, and honestly, like why, like Cole Bassett, like why'd you leave Denver? You know?
We got traded. He kind of had to.
Yeah, I mean,
No, honestly, Colorado cut his brother.
mm, so he doesn't
So
even
I don't
play.
know if that there was like a gripe. I don't know, but I don't. Gotta ask the experts on that. That's a
Yeah,
question that
shady, shady.
should have been asked, maybe, but we'll see. Let's move on to RSL. This is like a US MNT must-watch team, right?
It has to be.
Um, getting Kobe Henry, permanent transfer from Stade de Reims, getting Chance Cowell, like for probably their next pro team, but Kate Cowell's brother. Zach Booth coming from the Netherlands and Rotterdam. What's his brother's name? He's the younger brother, right?
Yeah, Zach's a younger brother.
He's
Tyler.
I don't know his I don't think it's Tyler, but he's gonna end up at RSL Hunter. He's gonna end up in MLS. Like I could see him in Vancouver.
Yeah.
That'd be lit.
Um.
Um, Getting Lucas Ango.
Oh, Taylor Booth. That's who it
Yeah,
is.
Taylor Booth. I could see him in like Vancouver. Getting Lucas Angel from Middlesbrough, kind of picked him off waivers from FC Cincinnati. Steen Sparings, he's like a midfielder from Brøndby, and DP signing Morgan Gulavogi from Lens. A lot of question marks with him, and then Ojeda was probably their brain. Brian Ojeda was probably their biggest loss.
Yeah.
TBH. I think he's an actual quality player, but Gulavogi, he's from France. He didn't score in France. I don't know why they got like they had to get a striker, right?
Yeah.
But why not wait and get an actual good one per se?
Yeah. I mean, it's. I went to an RSL game, and that was the one thing that stood out to me. When Luna looks forward and doesn't want to pass to the nine, like it just, you know, yeah, I mean, and they got, yeah, like, I mean, the Gulavogi guy they brought in, I mean, I think he had like 4 goals and like a crazy amount
36
of games.
appearances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like he's a guy that they wanted to get off the payroll.
yeah.
Like for the most but if you're like in Salt Lake, like I'm sure it's tough. They've been trying for the last couple windows to get a striker, right?
Yeah.
They haven't been able to get one. I don't know if it's the lack of money. I don't know if it's what, like Salt Lake's pretty sick if you like count out like all the, soda drinking places and all the weirdos there. But it's pretty sick, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a cool spot. Uh, yeah, recommend it. DeAndre Yedlin, any team with DeAndre Yedlin has to be successful. Cincinnati, Fulham. Wait, no, he wasn't. Uh,
Where was he?
wasn't full. Oh, wait, Newcastle, Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Galatasaray.
yeah, yeah. He was at Orlando too, right? Um,
Yedlin, he was at Miami.
Miami. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But this is probably the last year Diego Luna plays in MLS, so definitely check him out. Probably Gozo too, right?
I'd give Gozo another year.
Year and a half.
Yeah, I think he leaves January.
Yeah. So
Or no, I guess in the summer.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think RSL is always a fun team. Their coaching sets them up well, but I don't know if there's a whole lot of goals in the team. But we'll see. We'll see. San Jose, really the only big signing was Timo Werner from Leipzig,
Yep.
but Joseph leaving, Rodriguez leaving, um, Nick Lima retiring, Cruz Medina going to Chelsea, Christian Arango leaving to go to back to Colombia is probably
Thank
their
God.
biggest losses, right? But they've got two DP spots open. This is like a Bruce Arena kind of like
He's gonna
I
call
feel like
somebody
he
out the
love
mud. Yeah.
I feel like he loves this.
Yeah. He's
Loves
got
to have kind of the flexibility of these two like new two DPs. But I don't know. I thought Preston Judd last year was really good
yeah.
in what he did. And I think him and Werner may be kind of deadly pairing up top. Like how much Judd and Werner presses. Like and when that press is going. I mean, you saw in that DC game when, like when the press is going, it's tough.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like Bo LaRue running around like a crazy person, like they're tough.
Yeah.
And if they get like a DP10, like it could be real nasty. Um, but obviously like some goalkeeping is an issue, right? Goalkeeping's an issue and center back's probably an issue.
Yeah.
So do you see him making playoffs?
I think if they get the right guys in, I mean Bruce Arena can win games. Um,
Do you, honestly, Ian Hark should maybe play center back.
oh,
Like,
in the
like
center, right? Kind of like
in the
a
center,
six
yeah,
center
it's like a
back.
ball playing.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like if like Bruce could pull some strings and try to get him to play center back, I don't know. He could be that could be his career renaissance, right? Because he's got great passing ability, but I don't know if San Jose they get their signings, they're gonna have a slow start this season, I think. But if they get their signings right, I think they're gonna be nasty.
Right.
Um, in the second half of the season. So let's move on to Colorado. Getting Noah Cobb. He was on loan last year, but that's permanent from Atlanta. Dante Sealing coming from Montreal. He was decent last year. Hamza Ojederon from Lens. I think he's decent. And then their big losses was Cole Bassett and his brother leaving. Adam Budry going on load to Loudon. Loudon's making some noise. Um, and Oliver Larraz was
Yeah.
probably their biggest like losses. But Paxton, first full year in MLS, he's like with a new coach, with a young English coach, an assistant coach for Tottenham, Zach Steffen, still the like okay goalkeeper he is, and I don't know, I kind of like the midfield already. I don't like. Cole Bassett doesn't like him leaving doesn't kill the midfield for me, but I don't know. They weren't crazy exciting last year, but I do want to see him play under the new coach.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, also, I think the right hand side's pretty strong. As much as Rob Holding sucks, like he's still a good defender. Like, and he's still played in the Prem with Arsenal, and having Reggie Cannon do his right. And even Sam Vines on the left. I really enjoy watching Sam Vines play.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty solid. Again, like I don't know if Koo is that guy or Navarro. I mean, Donovan Phillip, the guy from NC State, is a baller. He's
yeah.
huge. But I don't know.
Honestly, my like American that breaks out this year is Darren Yappy. I thought he played really good last year. He showed that he's like really quick. He can finish. He's my kind of American to kind of break out this year for me. Um, but I just don't know if they play playoff soccer this year.
Yeah. Hopefully Paxton can, you know, ball out.
I think Paxton's gonna ball out though. I think this is an Aronson year.
Yeah, the Aronson boys. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So um, they're
Hopefully
full
they
pros and they're doing their thing. But let's move on to Houston, H Town. Where strip clubs galore and James Harden's jersey is retired. But let's talk about their additions. Lewis Halter, center back from Botafogo. Augustine Bouzat, coming from Vélez Starfield, the midfielder. Guilherme, the striker, coming from Santos. Hector Herrera, the spitter, coming on a
legend.
free.
Legend.
Legend. His only why they asked him why he came to Houston, it's because his kids go to school there. That was it. Nick Markinich, he broke the USL championship record goal scorer scoring at Charleston. Went to Spain, didn't really play that much, and now he's back in the States playing for an MLS club. And then Mateus Bogus, big signing from Cruz Azul, DP signing. But really, their big like losses was Brooklyn Reigns is probably their biggest loss.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the other ones are just, I mean, they have a laundry list of the guys they got.
Yeah, just
But
like guys they didn't want that they're
yeah,
cleaning house.
um, yeah, Guilherme it looks exciting from his mixtape. Um, and I think Houston needs that besides Miguchi. Um, like I'm sure going like there aren't fans in Houston seats. At the
Yeah.
end, it's like watching a Red
But
Bulls game or a New England game.
yeah. It's but when they're good, people come out.
Yeah, like
So
when they beat Miami, that was huge.
yeah. So honestly, this might be the last year of Ezekiel Ponce. If he doesn't turn up, he's probably out of a job. So unemployment line coming up. But Miguchi really in this midfield doesn't have to run as much. And what's like everyone's saying, what's his flaw? He can't run. He can hit that thing from 40 yards.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't need to run. Yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't need to run. Um, I like Lucas Halter. I think he's going to be a good center back. I actually think Houston has one of the best run organizations in MLS. How they use Next Pro, um, a lot of their signings. I thought Linger last year was good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
for coming
like he
in.
didn't score that much, but he's always dangerous.
Yep.
So I actually really like Houston. I don't know if MLS Cup goes through Houston, but I think Houston's making the playoffs.
That's big.
So
That's a big
I
take.
think they're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
St. Louis,
Blah.
just the dog food boys, probably trash as hell this year. But we'll see. We'll see. Daniel Edelman coming from Red Bull. Conrad Malum, fully acquired from Slavia Prague. I thought he was good last year on loan. Mamadou Mabakfall coming from Barcelona. He was playing at LAFC before. Center back. I think he'll be a good signing. Dante Polvera, an NYCFC Academy kid. He's coming over from Aberdeen in Scotland, and then Lucas McNaughton signing as a free agent. But losing Henry Kessler, Alfredo Morales, he was okay. And trading Joe Klaus, who was not great last year. So honestly, there's no bright spots in this team for me.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, I guess you could say Berkey, but even he didn't have a great year.
Yeah.
For as big
Um,
of a transfer as he was when he first came over.
um, Leuven is okay. I kind of like him as a player. I don't really. Marcel Hartol is okay, but it's just like there's no players in this team that can stretch the field, the the game at all, and that's what you kind of need in MLS per se. And there's really no one in this team that can do that.
Yeah.
I like Wallum a lot. He can Betcher, I thought was their like best attacking player last year, and they didn't play him as much as they probably should have. But we'll see. They're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. They're gonna do terrible, in my opinion.
Yeah. The Galaxy.
Mm, big year.
Big year for the Galaxy, right? Coming off a trash year. Ricky Puig, again, not being able to play, had to get another surgery. So, who they brought in? Jacob Glesnes, center back from Philly. Justin Hack, free agent. Matheus Nascimento, he's coming back. Another loan from Botafogo. Getting Joe Klaus from St. Louis. And then Eric Tommy from Sporting Kansas City as a free agent. I liked him last year. He probably won't have the same role as he did with Sporting Kansas City, but he's a good like depth piece. And then probably their biggest loss is Zonka going back to Denmark. But even he, like honestly, what he was making is probably a good move that he's gone. But I don't know, man. I think LA Galaxy is a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, I mean, getting Hawk and then Glesnes in. I mean, they were terrible last year, so they can only go up from here.
Yeah.
Uh, and again, Klaus, Paintsil, Peck is a dangerous front three. And even Christian
Yes.
Ramirez coming as fighting for that number 9, and then Marco
Yeah.
Royce.
Nascimento is, I don't know why they like got him,
Yeah,
but what are you gonna do? You know, Sanabria, I think will have a better year than
yeah,
last year. I
yeah,
actually think he's really quality. I think Julian Odd is also quality, so we'll see if they kind of step up. Yamane is pretty good. Their goalkeeping situation is trash. Um,
yeah. Who's your number
so
one for you? Is it Makovic?
I guess it's Misovic, but I mean, I thought he was really bad last year, but I wouldn't trust JT Marcinetkowski with my life. So, um,
Sheesh.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Migovic was terrible, but all right, our last team, Sporting Kansas City. We shouldn't even really talk about them. Um, just they made really no big signings this year. And then they kind of let go a bunch of people that wasn't any good. So they've really made no moves per se. But I think Dejan Jovic is one of the really only players in this league that you can like automatically say he's going to get like a bunch of goals with no help.
Yeah,
He's like a tap in. He's a tap in merchant.
he's gonna score no matter what.
Yeah. And they have like four U22 spots open. Will they fill them? I don't know. But I don't know, man. Like this team, there's not a lot to really, except Jokic that you're really like popping out the screen for.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I
yeah.
kind of like Jake Davis.
Yeah. Um,
but team's kind of trash.
yeah, see him finishing bottom three in the West for sure.
They may be Golden Spoon
Yeah, yeah. Might be worse than
or Wooden
DC.
Spoon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wooden Spoon. Might be Wooden Spoon this year, but Ethan, man, that kind of concludes our. I guess we could do like an MVP pick, and then maybe a young player of the year pick,
Yeah,
maybe.
young player Gozo, MVP.
Hungman. I
Yeah,
don't. I guess
Bawanga.
Hungman's son,
Yeah,
Bawanga.
I'll say Bawanga. Either one of those two.
Yeah, Bawanga's a beast. I like that. E, take us out, man,
Oh yeah,
with the word.
quote of the day. Off the dome. Um, to a brighter future, to life full of legacy, and enjoy the little things in life, like watching MLS on Apple TV with no paywall.
No paywall, baby. All right, we're out. Maybe the
Peace.
longest pod of all time.
I know. Jeez.